I'm sitting there chomping into it, getting my butter on there, getting my syrup.
I love pancakes.
Yeah, I had to get it just right, And I'm 3 bites in, and I go for my 4th bite. And this is just yesterday. I chomp down on my 4th bite, and there's something really hard in my pancake. Like, what is this? And I can feel it. And so I, unfortunately I'm at a restaurant. I have to do the gross thing of kind of like, I have to like pull the thing like out of my mouth. What is this? And it's covered, of course, in half chewed pancakes. Sorry to be gross, but this is the situation. I pull it out, and it's a bread clip for a bag.
Ew.
I know, and it's like pancake probably didn't. I mean, I don't think that probably even came.
How the heck did the pancake cook?
Yeah, and it didn't melt or anything.
You got really lucky. That could have turned into poison for you.
I could have swallowed that. Yeah. Yeah, so they gave us the drinks for free. So I guess there's that. We got the drinks for free, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's just sometimes it slips in there. I guess I'd almost rather that than a hair or a fingernail, maybe. Definitely more so than a body part, I think. But yeah, that was my breakfast. The rest was fine. It was fine.
This is a stretch, but speaking of body parts, does anyone here remember Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? The book of scary stories?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Every year, there's a story in the first book that talks about someone going and finding a weird potato in the garden that turns out to be a big toe, and then the monster coming back to the kid.
Jesus, the body horror stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, those stories, I would have a librarian in second, third grade. The librarian would bring in a record with the old timey, like, who's the guy who did the Michael Jackson song voiceover, who did all the scary movie stuff? That guy, he would narrate these books. So me in third grade got super terrified of any sort of mix up in body parts because I didn't want the guy to come after me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like my local library did the same thing, admittedly with cassette tapes rather than vinyl, because gramophones aren't exactly commonplace in 1998. So but totally with the same kind of like body horror type stuff, although it is how I got into Animorphs, because I first heard it as a terror story on a Halloween as an audiobook in the library, and then I went and like actually checked out the books and read them.
Oof.
All about them goosebumps.
Ooh, yeah, goosebumps. I'm all about that. That's for sure. Did you, Wes Payne, did you ever enjoy the Goosebumps series?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Oh, the Goosebumps series were great.
I probably would have done more if I didn't Animorph also as a child.
Yeah. I got sucked into Power Rangers. It worked out perfectly that it was on in the morning before school. And so I would...
You were young enough for Power Rangers?
Yeah, I got some too.
The very first seasons, the very first runs. Which were what? When was Power Rangers on the air?
1993.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm watching a streamer sometimes on YouTube, and then he's been doing for his like Discord members after like the public stream. They've been going watching. They watched all the Godzilla movies, but currently they're working their way through all the Power Rangers. And so you just hear this streamer talk, and he's just got like deep nerdy lore about Power Rangers.
Wow,
like, that's not a topic I had thought about.
No,
I haven't rewatched the Power Rangers series in forever. Like, so my first Power Rangers series that I distinctly remember that I really liked was Time Force. But like I vaguely do remember like Power Rangers Zeo and Lightspeed Rescue, which were right afterwards, because like I was like 4 when those shows. But like Power Rangers was actually quite a big influence for me as a kid too.
It was. I mean, the idea was fun about when they would all combine up the parts into one major robot.
Absolutely, the Zords are awesome.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Having a big brother, I definitely got a lot of Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. Like that was our whole world when I was a kid.
Oh man, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, and like Teen Titans.
Oh, I didn't get to Teen Titans. My kids got that, but Turtles for me was so huge.
Titans is great, even as an adult. Like, it's not as campy as whatever, Power Rangers and stuff. It's actually a good show all around.
Yeah,
if you rewatch Teen Titans, it hits on some pretty dark stuff. Kids Next Door does as well.
Kids Next Door was awesome. I was going with my friends talking about like cartoons that like actually influenced my personality growing up. I completely forgot about Codename Kids Next Door, but that was such a big deal for me.
I just want to say before we move off Teenage Ninja Turtles, I don't know if you guys have watched it recently, but like they start with a very tight like narrative for the first season or a few episodes. It's a whole arc. Every episode.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Well, because like back at when TMNT was starting out, was still kind of cool back then to do like overarching story arcs per season. Like nowadays, you see that most shows are episodic. They're like Monster of the Week style, like Scooby Doo. But like I think when we were growing up, it was way more common for shows to create like connected, semi-connected stories across an entire season. Like everything mattered.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to do a hook for like, when you had, you were releasing one episode a week. Like if you design the stories that way, people are going to come back all the time. But like,
gotta hook them.
I honestly think that's a good storytelling device. Like making everything feel connected. It gives you it makes you feel like there's something much bigger going on.
Yeah, you get the whole universe.
Oh,
exactly.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Do we have a Brentley? Do we have a Brentley? Are you coming in, Brent? Brentley, are you there? Are you coming in?
Hello.
Hi.
Is this
Calling out
JB1?
Brentley. Whoa.
Hey, JB1.
Somehow I didn't expect him to actually be in the moose.
Yeah, I thought too. I thought you'd be like in a bricks and sticks.
Hmm.
I mean, once you get in the moose, like, why not just?
I mean, it sounds good, right? Sounds good.
It's kind of great because you're delightful low res too. So there's something about it.
Kind of fits.
Oh, I can
like
give
you're
you higher
calling
res.
from
than I
20 or
pushed
30 years ago.
Don't push it. Don't push it.
I shouldn't have
well,
said
I don't know. I feel like pushing it now.
Are you in there by yourself or are the kiddies in there?
No, I'm all by myself.
Woo!
So lonely.
Woo. Okay.
So lonely.
All by
Dude, the van looks like a giant cabin from that shot.
Okay, I'm going to practice so I have. Okay, so that's not a Brent shot. That is definitely not a Brent shot.
Let me reconnect. I'm going to give you more better.
Oh,
better
for goodness
pixels.
sake. Oh, as I'm trying to set up
let's push
shots. Oh, for goodness.
Let's
okay.
go crazy.
All right. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Well, I don't
He
have
left out
to. I
stable
don't
in a
have
bit.
to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll work
Okay.
on fixing things up here. I am determined. I see. Okay. There you go. Well, that was pretty quick. That wasn't so painful.
I'm now on balanced mode.
Balanced, huh?
Is it any better?
I don't know yet.
There's one more tick up I can go for like high res.
I have been, on and off, been having network connectivity issues with my machine upstairs.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Really? That thing hasn't
Still.
moved. Like, what changed?
He upgraded his NICs.
I upgraded my kernel a while ago, and I think it was that, yeah. But I think what it is now is like I have to change, and I think I've solved it. What's a 720p? It's 720? What is
1280 by 720.
Thank you. I was blanking on that.
There's too many 8s and 2s.
I think I had to
Well,
change all the
everybody-
power management settings for it, is basically what I had to do.
Ooh, that goes back.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hello, is that you? Yeah, so I figured out what that is earlier on the stream. While
Is
I
this
was...
the new JB Cave? Yeah.
I
That's
guess
right.
we're doubling over.
Welcome to the cave. Yeah, well, we thought it would make the show sound more official if we did it with an echo.
Yeah, we're actually in the old kingdom.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
What?
That would
When
be
did you get a
amazing.
castle?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, we figured
I
if
imagine
Brent
this
was
is
back in time, we could be too.
There we
So
go. Is it gone now?
Speaking of the word castle, I found
No,
out the
it's still
other
there.
day
Oh, it
that
reconnects.
castle.
Sorry,
I
go
found
ahead.
out the other day that castle and chateau are cognates. They're basically the same word borrowed into English different times.
Interesting.
So like castle and chateau are related. They both mean house coming from French at different points in history.
Words are fun.
Oh, language.
It's amazing we can communicate at all. I mean, some days we can't, but
No.
most days.
Or we managed.
Have you seen the internet, Wes? It's a mess out there.
Yeah, that's true.
I have watched so many Rob words and learned so many weird facts about how English and other languages have interacted with each other. Like learning the fact that all the Romance languages all decided, screw the Latin words for the cardinal directions. We're just going to use the words from English and borrow them in.
Why not?
Because apparently the cardinal directions in Latin were awful, and so they just borrowed north, south, east, and west into their languages. So like everybody, all the Romance languages get it from English through French.
So interestingly enough, I'm in a Spanish-speaking country at the moment, and in order for me to remember the directions, north and south are easy. It's norte y sur. But like when you get east and west, I can't remember it, and I have to think of my grandpa, who would never call an East Asian by an actual thing. It was just everyone was Oriental, so we're the flavor of ramen noodles. That was a while ago, but East also is Oriente. I have to remember that, otherwise the words don't make sense.
And Occidental for the other direction, right?
Yeah, which sounds like accidental, and that scares me when I'm at the dentist and they're like, no, you have to go to this facing wall. I'm like, I don't want the accident though.
So, like, those words are considered archaic and are alternatives for just saying oeste and oeste. So you can say east and west, and everyone will know what you mean. But occidental and oriental, like, those are the old words. Those are from Latin.
Interesting. This might be one of those regional Spanish things then. I mean, you go a couple of countries up north and much of the slang changes.
Exactly, right? Like the formal ones I think are all still the old Latin words, but like no one likes using them because they're long. They also have negative connotations, like particularly occidental and oriental. They're not liked words. They're really not. Because they're used as derogatives for like so like the oriental, like for the eastern stuff. There's a long bad history there. And occidental was often used as a derogatory way to refer to the Western European side of Europe by the rest of it.
Can I interrupt with a funny story that's not really related, but
sure.
So took the family out last night to dinner. So I had an interesting breakfast, but I took the family out for dinner, and it's dark at this point, right? Because it's like 7:30 p.m. The shop, this diner, whatever you want to call it, it's not really. It's like a down Highway 20, about 45 minutes from the main interstate, there is this diner, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. It's called the Birds View. Let me see what they call themselves. Birds View. I think they call them a diner. And this place has gone through a lot of transformations over the years. And but it has a very unique vibe. So we roll up, and it's dark, it's rainy, it's windy, and no one's there except for the 3 or 4 gals that run the place. And they're all out front on the porch smoking. And they're having a good old time. And so I asked Hadi, I'm like, hey, do you want to just ask them if they're even open? It doesn't look like they're open right now. Literally none of them were inside the diner.
Yeah. Uh-huh. They certainly don't seem ready sitting for your order.
Yeah. And so, oh, yeah, we're open. Of course we're open. Come on in. So come on in. Some of them start out there smoking, and then I pop out of the car. The 3 kids pop out of the car. The old ladies start cracking. Oh, that thing's a clown car! Look at all you coming out of there. I mean, they're just out there cracking jokes. And we sat down at our table, and the kids and I lean over to each other, and I think it was Abby that said, "It's like they're characters from a movie out there." It's like just. So I got their fried chicken with
this looks good.
Side of mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. And it actually is it was really surprisingly quite good. Although, $95. I have a fun extension installed that I wanted to recommend to you this week, but I wanted to use it for a few days. But I think you should install this extension. Maybe you too, Brent.
Extension pick. Okay, let me pull up my extensions.
I don't do this very often. And it's only for,
Wait, why do you want me to install MetaMask?
No. It's called Opportunity Cost.
Oh.
Yes.
Have you seen this one? Yeah, Brent, you know about this one.
No, but it sounds amazing.
Oh, okay. So what it does is it prices everything in sats. So it takes the dollar amount and prices them in sats. So you can see, like,
I knew that was coming.
My fried chicken with 2 sides cost 15,810 sats. Now, this sounds kind of silly, and I just did it for a laugh. But it's interesting because you kind of get an appreciation for, like, the inflation, in a sense, of stuff. Like, it's a weird, I guess after using it for a week, it helps me more accurately price things. Like when somebody posts, I just this, or so-and-so just, signed a deal for X amount. I don't know. It's really interesting. It's both a website and an extension. It's open source. I know the people behind it. So it's not, as far as I know, I trust them, and it's not doing anything creepy. Opportunity cost. It's really... So anywhere you go where something's been denominated in a dollar amount,
that's fun.
It'll put it in Satoshi.
Well, now I want to see the source.
You should take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. It's
So
called.
what is the
Reading
what is the
Rainbow's
membership
getting
cost?
revived, by the way.
What's that?
Reading Rainbow's getting revived.
Oh yeah, I thought I heard something about
Reading
that.
Rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, you just said that it's in a book, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. Reading Rainbow
Yeah.
is coming back.
Good.
Interestingly, I've made a Chrome extension that does something similar, except instead of converting dollars to sats, it's dollars to time based on current hourly income.
Ooh, nice.
And
That's
that's
great.
a really helpful metric to look at. Like, is it worth an hour of my time to go eat chicken?
Yeah, I like
Usually, yes.
Wow.
I mean, there's also there's also the payoff, right? Like you have to count the reward as part of it. If you spend that hour of time, you probably have like 3-4 hours of energy added to it that you could go do other things.
Interesting. I like this. Time is also a really good way. That's really interesting. Okay, boys. Yeah.
I was going to finish out by saying, if you visit a page long enough, you can see it ticking up. Like, my coffee used to cost me 15 minutes, and now it's 45.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. That is definitely a thing.
Especially for coffee.
Yeah, for food.
And this is why I don't cook.
Okay.
I do cook, but like I cook very quick things.
All right, Brentley, we're going to
Cooking is worth your time. I disagree 100%.
No, it's totally worth it, but like the problem is the cost of ingredients.
If you want, we can send Brent out for you.
But-
He makes an excellent private
Yeah,
chef.
right?
He only
Brent to
does
Brent.
brunch,
If
but
you're gonna cook me awesome food, I won't say no. As long as I don't have to pay for it, it's great.
If you got eggs, you're pretty much set. Like I'll have a fridge and I'll open up the fridge and I'll be like, there's nothing to eat in here at all. Literally nothing. We're going to starve to death. And then Brent comes downstairs and he throws together a meal for 3. So
I will invite and host Brent in Colombia for a brunch with Brent, but South American edition. We'll go to the market and everything.
there you go, Brent. There you go.
Oh, when I could leave tomorrow?
Can you drive there? Let's see. Can you get around?
I don't think you want to drive to Colombia.
I mean,
From up to Canada, no.
oh, Brent.
You could be here in 10
I've done
hours with a
crazier
direct flight.
things.
Just do a flight. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Just fly.
Okay, sorry guys, gotta go.
And read a
Yeah.
book. It's Reading Rainbow.
Just go to Seattle, then drive to Seattle, then go take a flight from there, and then you'll be down in like, I don't know, 6 hours. It'll be great.
yes, it is
Driving to
hammer
Seattle
time.
would take me 3.5 days, 4 days, something like that.
Or if you're on the other side, then go drive down to like New York.
Toronto's much closer. Thanks.
Reading.
Yeah, but
Rainbow.
you still have to hop to an American airport first.
I like this idea.
Really?
I think we should do it.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure if there's if LATAM goes to Timothy Pearson International.
Okay, that's a problem.
At least he knows your airport name.
See, the thing is, if you're actually coming down, American is the only one that I've not had a flight delay pretty consistently.
American is the only airline where I always get delays and screwed up. I do not fly American Airlines anymore because of all that.
We need more. We need more private pilots as listeners. Look, can we get that? Can you guys get working on that or something?
No.
Can you?
Hey, Jeff, you
All
got some free
mics.
time, right?
Yeah, like the Jupiter Air crew.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to charter a JV plane, I'm happy to board.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should all just go in on private jets to events. You know, crowdfund.
It's actually depending
Yeah, I
on
know.
the routes. The charter flights are not that expensive. I was shocked to find out that charter flights can be relatively comparable to commercial flights if you plan it right.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
I'd say we do it.
Maybe free memberships for anyone who gets their pilot's license.
Jesus.
Or ham radio
Think about all
license.
the-
You know, there's a lot of ways to get in.
On the
Think
road.
about all the power we'd have here, right? You know, we get a bunch of JB pilots, and then if the boogaloo happens and we get some Meshtastic radios in the air, we're good.
Plus, once we get our floppies with episodes set up, like we could start airdropping them. Just, add over to the people. Direct. Oh, you got Brent sounds?
Well,
over there?
I was trying to figure out. Remember, he shared a sound clip with us.
Yeah, I put that in.
A very
our
specific
Slack.
one.
Where?
In the Tunes channel.
Oh, you did? You made it nice and
Oh,
easy for
yeah.
me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you even clean it up and stuff? Yeah.
Why would we clean it up? What are you talking about?
I did. I mean, I threw it through this.
Did it need cleaning? I don't know.
Effects. It was already pretty decently loud.
Through the laundry, you know.
Look at you. You ran it through the laundry for us, Wes? Thank you. That's nice of you.
I figured we might want.
But Chris, I learned from you in that particular scenario, so it's a thanks to you that even exists.
Sha.
Although I could do sooner, you know.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
It's on the 21st.
Yeah, at 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So maybe we'll start the pre-show with that. All right. Let's see.
You bastard.
Let's see if I have.
Oh. Damn.
Oh. Does it get to?
Zest to speed and ultra tight.
I see. What? You know what you should do?
That's good.
You should link me the. Is that version 5?
It's 4.5 all.
You should link me
I can link
the
you.
track, and then I could remaster
Yeah, which one
it.
was that? That was
Fedora 43 next boot wins,
yeah, okay.
and then I could remaster that with version 5.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You see that ChatGPT says they're working on their own song generator?
I did not see that.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Right? It'll just be one of the little drop downs.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at
Why
all.
does it not surprise you? Like, why do you think they think it's worth it?
They, every chat AI interface wants to be the one that does all your multimodal stuff. They want to be your text, image, audio, one-stop shop. And there's trillions on the line, Bradley.
They already are, in theory, building out the GPU farm. So
I was watching.
Got to generate something. All right, I sent you that in a DM. See if that works.
Oh, thank you. I was watching some YouTubers last night that are, it's like an economics YouTuber channel, and they're like, sometimes I think that this AI bubble gets so much attention just because the economy needs a pump constantly. It's like, yeah, what do you think? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Welcome to the current world we live in.
You don't get a decade and a half of line goes up without a constant pump.
Right. Like, how do you get that? Okay, so why doesn't it offer me to remaster?
I don't know. Do I need to send it a different way? I hit publish and then just shared it.
Ooh. Usually I just have like a remaster option.
Right.
But I do not. So I guess I cannot.
I can send you the stuff?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
I have a remix /edit.
Yeah, I have a remix, but I don't have. Usually there was a
remaster. Yeah.
Yeah, usually there's a.
Darn SaaS companies. What are you doing?
You know what? Can I roll that back? Can I just roll that UI change back? Can I
you
roll
got
that?
ZFS snapshots.
Can I roll that back real quick? I just want to roll it back real
what am I
quick.
doing? I don't even have the matrix room up.
Oh, get the matrix.
I'm an
Remember, you worked so
amateur.
hard to get it working. You should really get it going. Also, if you'd like to join our matrix room, JupiterBroadcasting.com.
Pluck the strings, fire up the box, Fedora 43, no.
Okay, I like that one. All right, I like that. All right, okay. Okay, we'll be right back, everybody. Stand by. We're going. Oh, come on, stop it. Slack. Their player's not really.
No, it's not production grade.
No, it's not. It's not exactly tuned for live production. Okay, stand by, everybody. We're going to get started. It is time for us to do the members pre-show. And we love those members. Somehow, some way, we begin in 3, 2...
Pluck the strings, fire up the box, Fedora 43, no paradox. Anaconda, waves from the web, DNF5 keeps the updates fed. Whalen sleek, X levers retired. Your old app sire, sysadmins inspired. Python 3, 14, hums low and deep. Kernel 617 never sleeps. RPM 6 fingerprints were signed and neat. City boots that can't be beat. Green boots rusty, Kinoids on auto updates. Hum at the crack of dawn. Fedora 43, Pluck me up slow, single bass thump and ukulele glow. Sally rides wallpaper lighting the scene. Open source dreams, perky but clean. Plug in your ISO, press enter with glee. Watch the progress bar dance, Fedora's free. Hey! Don't rush, take your time. Bass and uke, carry the nerdy rhyme. Pluck me up, boot me up, Fedora 40 free. Fill my cup.
West Paint Special, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't really audit that one. I labeled this as backup music for the show.
It was labeled as backup. It's true.
The other one had tighter lyrics.
Free. Well, hello,
Fill my
members.
cup.
Welcome into episode 638. We are celebrating Fedora 43 this week, if you can't tell. In fact, I think that could be our new style. It's just review via song. You know, just tweak it a little bit, and we don't even need to do the review. Right? We got a pretty packed Mumble Room today, too. Everybody's excited about Fedora. Hello, Mumble Room.
Hello.
Aloha.
Aloha. Hello, hello. Hi there. Hi there. Thank you for joining us. And it looks like we have a Brentley, although he's still in the van. Looking sharp, Brent.
Or am I?
Sounding good. The tracker
Thank you.
tells me you're in Canada now. You made it.
I am. I did make it. The trip, I think, is over.
Congratulations,
We
buddy.
did it.
That's huge.
Thank you.
You hauled those last few days. Wes
It
pulled up
was
some
a
data.
consistent, oh man, just like go for like 6 days. It's a big continent.
Yeah, I feel
So
like
Wes, what?
I feel like before we get to the stats, I don't know if
I can pull this up,
you, Brent, have it's a milestone, right? You've crossed a road tripper's milestone of like the ultimate in a rush trek across the country. Like this is a moment, and I'm proud, and I'm just so gosh darn happy to see it and everything like that, Brent. And the van, you know, I mean, it's had some problems, but the engine's been good, the body's been really good. I mean, to think that thing sat there for so long, and then now it's been basically driven across the country. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I looked at the map this morning before we got on the air. I looked like Wes's paper map. Like I actually laid it out and looked at the paper map. Have you done that? Have you looked at the journey?
No.
I mean, it's one thing to look at the
That
tracker.
sounds wild.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's an accomplishment, Brent. So congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's all your fault, I think. You came up with this crazy van lifestyle idea years ago as a joke, and then look at us now.
Look at us go. Look at us go.
I also did a little math for you
Okay.
before Wes gets into the trip stats. So this van, when we got it, the odometer maybe was broken. So it reads 63,000 miles.
Yeah. And that's all that's on there.
I'll be generous and call it 70, who knows? So
yeah.
when we rescued it, let's just say it had 70,000 miles on it. Well, this Texas trip, the total was 5,745 miles for me, which is a bit bonkers. Remind me to get an oil change.
Yeah.
And that represents 8% of the total miles ever put on this van in the last 35 years.
Nicely done.
Isn't that bonkers?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it took you 102 hours to do it.
102 hours. That was
Heck
your total
yeah.
drive?
Yeah.
Wow.
I drove in circles because Wes wanted me to go past 100.
Yeah,
so.
true. You should feel vindicated, Chris, because your RV math magic number is 55.
Yeah.
And average velocity here, 55.7 for Mr. Brent.
Isn't that something? Because it's about the stops. It's not about the vehicle speed. It's about stopping for fuel or, pet breaks, bathroom breaks. Food.
Yeah, like here's one of his days that was, almost 62 as an average, but, other days it's down to 49.
What was our average speed was pretty good, right? I got it right here.
I feel like it was much higher.
Our average speed was, well, not much, 62 miles per hour. So your average speed was 55 miles per hour, and our average was 62.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we only had
that's
one
a big
day where we got up
percentage,
to
though.
70.
Oh, we had a day where we averaged 70 miles per hour.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
We
my
also drove 734 miles, so it's pretty good.
734 miles. That must have been Texas.
I think that was the
If
Wyoming.
that's the
Montana
average.
Oh, yeah.
If that's the average, then what's the conclusion here about legality?
Hey, let's not focus.
Hey, Wyoming and Montana, there's nothing out there to hit.
It's
And
like-
so they put the
it's
speed
like-
limits appropriate.
It's like 80, 85 miles per hour speed limit out there. So
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
insane. Oh gosh, really?
it's crazy.
Oh wow. I can't do that. Basically, there are limits to this thing. I
Yeah,
don't
for
think you have
sure.
the same
No.
limits.
No, in fact, it's one of the reasons I wanted to take the GTI on this trip is because I'm always on these roads in the RV and I'm doing 58, 60 miles per hour in an 85. And I just dream of like, what if I could blast through this? Turns out you can. You can. You can do it. Should you do it?
You know what's really crazy is 85 mile an hour speed limits in the Poconos.
Poconos.
Whoa.
What's a Pocono?
Yeah, so that's those are mountain roads that are very curvy and have switchbacks.
Ah, I got you.
That sounds
as
amazing.
mountain roads should.
And
That's where you kiss mountains.
Typically on one side you've got sheer cliff, and on the other side you've got a sheer cliff drop, and the speed limit is 85 miles an hour.
Whew. That is really something. That is. Boys, should we do some news?
Ooh, okay.
Let's start with Debian. So Debian is establishing an archive operations team, and they're ending the FTP master team. Although it's essentially the same staff moving over. Laravel has this over at Phoronix, and they say the DFSG licensing a new packages team ensures that new packages entering Debian archive comply with the Debian free software guidelines and relevant licensing requirements. And then they have a whole set of responsibilities that they outline. The new Debian archive operations team will also be spun out from the FTP master crew. And then they go on to say the Debian archive operations team oversees and maintains the well-being of Debian's official package repositories. Team members are responsible for tasks including operations of the archive, supporting other DPL delegates, managing packages handled by hand currently, removing packages when requested or required, maintaining package state and archive structure, maintaining the software used to run the archive, mainly Debian Archive Kit, and documenting the team's key processes, especially those related to releases. This is like in a way, this is a totally sensible restructuring, obviously. In another way, I didn't realize that the team was still called the FTP Master Team.
I know. It's been a long time.
Yeah, that's great. Remember FTP? I miss it.
Do you, though?
A little bit. I used it quite a bit. I'll take SFTP, though. I don't really have any. I just wanted to kind of acknowledge this, I guess, because it's Debian. I don't know if anybody in the mobile room has any thoughts on it, but I think they're calling it the Archive Operations Team, Licensing and New Packages. So it's the official name is Operations Team, Licensing and New Packages Team, DFSG. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just interesting to watch because regardless of if you use Debian, I mean, here I'm over on NixOS, but even still, you end up seeing things that are, popping over, or they pull patches from Debian, or there's something that, Debian's the thing, or there's a deb package aimed at Debian that like you pull resources out of. It's just so much of a rock of the ecosystem.
Yeah, it is.
So much work happens to get stuff packaged there that just ripples downstream.
It does. Neil, you have thoughts on this?
I looked at this news and I kind of considered it a bit of a nothing burger because it looks like what's basically happened is that they wanted to get rid of the words FTP master for whatever reasons. I mean, we're not going to get into it, but it looks like they basically wanted to get rid of that phrase and replace it with, basically a better phrasing for what the team actually does, because I'm pretty sure nobody uploads with FTP anymore. But the licensing team and the archive operations team, they're in reality, I suspect while they're going to be two teams, the same people are going to be part of both teams.
Yes.
Because the overlap of the responsibilities is super high. I even actually suspect in the longer term they'll be merged back together, and they'll just say archive operations team just also covers licensing and new packages as well, because I think, if I want to guess, the reason for the split is that they want to see if they can get new contributors that want to do some parts of it but not all parts of it. Like, licensing compliance is a different difficult role compared to determining whether or not the packages being uploaded makes sense to actually merge into the archive.
Sure.
But I think that this is not going to be a long-term split. Even if the naming is more accurate now, I think what's going to happen is over the long term, they'll get merged back together. Or even if they don't, it will be the same people in both teams.
I guess I feel like you're like you said, it's kind of a nothing burger, but I wanted to capture it just so that we, if it develops into something, we have it, but also just
I mean, as it is right now, the Debian project leader basically put the same people that were in the FTP master crew, they put them in both of the new teams. So like, yeah,
I agree.
It's effectively a nothing burger because like the same people are doing the same things that they were always doing. They just now have two new titles instead of having one old one.
It's always just a reminder to me of the interesting structure they have and sort of the different allocations of power and who controls what within the project between the people actually packaging, the leadership, and the FTP masters.
Okay, how about a little bit of news about Alma Linux? I think this is kind of great to see, right? Because when Alma Linux started, I think this is the context to set here. It was very much a clone of RHEL. Things have shifted, and in the upcoming 10.1 release, Alma Linux plans to include support for Btrfs. How about that?
Come on, I thought I was waiting for a clapping sound effect.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Good call. Yeah, Btrfs support in Alma Linux, even though, of course, RHEL doesn't support it. I think they felt it was important to have a modern copy-on-write file system that has advanced features that are useful in the enterprise.
And they specifically call out the upstream sort of work in Fedora, really making this possible, ultimately.
Hey, isn't that nice to see? Okay, RHEL.
I didn't think people thought Btrfs was ready for like prime time, right?
I think people who don't actually work with large storage and in a rapidly evolving environment do think that still. But I think people that are looking for solutions that are, maybe not like what the common advice would be, but people that are in situations that demand something that solves their problem, I think they're probably finding Btrfs. I just relate to that because I've shared the story 1,000 times, so I'll give the super short version. When I worked at a bank, it was just when check imaging was becoming a thing where they would scan the checks. And of course, this was, if you go from everything just being text in a database on a S390 to we have to have all of these x86 servers that store front and back of every customer's checks they write. And this is back when checks were still very popular. And so it started producing tens of thousands of images. And NTFS couldn't handle it. Extended 2 or 3 at the time couldn't handle it. And I actually ended up on RiserFS because RiserFS was optimized for these kind of smaller files with directories that were super complicated and deep and all of that. And it made a noticeable improvement for the tellers when they would try to pull up the images for customers or when customers would try to pull it up on online banking. And this online banking app was such a piece of crap. And so anything we could do to deliver, any of the content to it faster was much, much better. And so it was a noticeable improvement with RiserFS. And nobody at the time was saying if you have tens of thousands of small files that you're creating all the time and you need to serve them up super quick over the network, check out RiserFS. But this crazy SUSE distribution was shipping it, and so I gave it a go, and it worked fantastic. And it solved my problems. And I would not be surprised if that's what will happen for some people with Alma Linux and Btrfs now. I hope. It's really good to see them do it, and I think it doesn't make it any less application binary compatible with RHEL, but gives you features.
I like the idea you're worried that somehow you load the Btrfs module and, it's going to destroy the reliability of your server.
Now you can't run the Oracle database.
Uh-huh.
Who wants to run an Oracle database?
No one.
Nobody.
But some people have to.
They do. They do. Especially now if they're going to run TikTok. If we're talking about file systems, does anybody care about the new NTFS Plus driver, a new Linux NTFS driver?
I'm tired of the number of implementations of NTFS that have come through at this point. And the worst part about it is that every time a new NTFS implementation comes through, it gets released, people start using it, and then it just gets abandoned. That's what happened with NTFS 3 right now. And the worst part is that this guy who's doing the NTFS Plus thing's like, oh yeah, no, we've made it better. We're using IOMAP, which is all great. And like, we will do journaling after merge, which is also what the last guy said with NTFS 3. And we still don't have journaling support for NTFS in Linux, which means that if the file system's in a dirty state, the Linux can't recover from it. You have to go back to Windows to fix it.
Yeah, you got to fix it in Windows. Yep.
And that's just like, can we please, for the love of all things terrible, please just actually complete the implementation before merging it? Because it's very clear at this point that nobody even like keeps up with what they say that they're going to do.
Yeah. But you know.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it seems like better case for it, at least being based on the existing stuff. And
yeah,
seemingly
something people want, isn't it?
And
keeps happening.
In fairness, right? This guy is the XVAT maintainer.
Okay.
Member of the International Samba team, and Chris's favorite.
Okay.
Person behind KSMBD.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is the Samsung guy, and there's a bunch of LG people supporting them. So, like,
oh well, then this will get in the kernel. Absolutely no problem, no questions answered. Even if the guy is a jerk, it'll get in the kernel, no problem. I mean, isn't it interesting how that happens? No, I'm not saying he's a jerk. I'm just saying
he's a nice guy. The problem is, I have no confidence in anyone keeping up with the NTFS implementations anymore.
Oh, I agree.
No, it's totally fair. It's fair.
I just think it's crazy that we can have 3 different NTFS drivers in the last 5 years, and we can 4, and we can put a Samba server in the kernel, but we can't figure some of this other stuff out. It's just what makes it in and what doesn't make it in starts to make me wonder if it's just simply comes down to personalities and the companies they're associated with and the money behind them.
It's the money behind it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Like the thing is, the only reason that anyone cares about NTFS in the Linux kernel is because when you buy external drives that you plug into your Android phone or tablet or anything, guess what? They're all formatted with freaking NTFS these days. And so it needs to work.
Yeah.
And so everyone cares about this. And now what's the main problem is NTFS on Linux, no matter which implementation you use, is super awful. It's either bad on performance, it's bad on reliability, or it can't handle failure modes.
Or it gets abandoned.
Or
that happens.
That'll happen regardless, yeah.
The abandoned thing happens no matter what, right? Like, we had the original NTFS driver. We have NTFS 3G with Tuxera has stopped working on. During the pandemic, they basically stopped working on it, which is why everything's like such a mess right now with them. And then NTFS 3 from Paragon, after it was merged, they stopped working on it. The guy disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't even know what happened to him. And now we have this NTFS Plus. First of all, can we just fix the ones that we've got now? Like, if you're saying you're building NTFS Plus on top of the original NTFS quote-unquote classic driver, can you just build on that code? Like, just replace that code. Don't make another implementation. Just delete the old one and replace it with this one. Like, I don't want more of these, because, like, as a distro, now I have to figure out as someone who's working on Drake-it, I have to figure out which one of these we're supposed to load. And at this point, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. I do like that this one has ID map mount support. That's nice to see.
It seems to have more of the, because like NTFS as a file system has been advanced to the point that it has a lot of Unixy-like features in the architecture.
Right, yeah, totally.
And none of those have been plumbed into the Linux implementation. So it's nice to see that they're getting done. But I'm worried that they won't get done because they're not done now. And once this is merged afterwards, will anyone care to finish it?
We'll just point them your way. Don't worry, Neil.
Yeah, it's in the kernel now, so it's fine. So
no, God, look, man.
The cone of silence.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I do have another file system story for you. You know what? I got one for you. Get ready.
Yes, it is hammer time.
We have OpenZFS 2.4 RC3 with a workaround that focuses on the kernel changes in Linux 6.18, addressing issues caused by kernel changes that affect non-GPL out-of-tree file systems like ZFS. Specifically, Linux 6.18 removed the write cache pages that OpenZFS has implemented in its own minimal version, now called ZPL_write_cache_pages, to manage dirty pages and writes via ZFS put page. So in other words, TLDR, changes in 6.18 that break file systems that are external to the kernel are coming, and ZFS is actively working to try to solve that. But this is a bit of a PSA. So if you use a out-of-tree file system,
Non-GPO.
yes.
Well, actually, this also broke Bcachefs.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. Although I think because the new API is export symbol GPL, they just switched to the new one. But
Right.
like, they're also affected by other changes coming in 6.18 and 6.19 that break them. So like,
Yeah.
this is the risk of using an out of tree anything in the Linux kernel, right? Like, this isn't just with file systems. This happened with the NVIDIA driver. This has happened with other things. Like, again, my personal opinion, just me being me, do not recommend using out of tree kernel modules for anything that you rely on as critical, because you are going to get screwed. And it will be unpleasant.
I would.
Or end up on the LTS kernel for a while.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I suppose there's that. I would generally agree, except I've come to the conclusion, and this is just furthering my bias, the kernel developers don't give a shit about file systems or storage. I don't think any of them have any idea of modern storage requirements. And so they're happy to just constantly break this stuff. And then they'll yell at somebody about breaking user space. But file system, that's fine. And they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about Bcachefs. They don't give a shit about ZFS. They don't care. They don't think about it. Not only do they not give a shit, they don't think about it at all. And so what I am forced to do now is to take risk, like run ZFS out of tree, or now also Bcachefs, because the people that develop my kernel don't care about me and they don't care about my use case. So I got to take matters into my own hands, which means, like Wes says, you probably got to use the LTS kernel and do all this other crap that I don't want to do.
Well, I don't want to paint it with an incredibly broad stroke like that.
Yeah, that's our job. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm doing that.
I've met most of the file system developers now at this point.
Well, I'm not talking about the file system developers necessarily. I think they, I'm talking about more up the chain.
So up the chain, I think it's more complicated than that, right? Like the stories around Bcachefs are pretty well documented.
No. If you took Bcachefs completely out of it, completely removed it, it's still, there is a pattern of behavior that is hostile towards file systems, and in particularly hostile towards users that have particular workload requirements that need these file systems. But Linus will be happy to scream at somebody about breaking user space. There's certain things they care about, and there's certain things they don't care about. And this seems to be one. And even I think if you took the Bcache stuff out completely out, there's still enough evidence to show that, like, the people running at the top of the kernel, either they don't understand the situation, or they don't care, or they just don't think about it.
Well,
yeah, I think even if you don't say like hostile, they're at least sort of like making it a focus of the excellence of Linux.
You know that meme, like, I don't think about you at all? That's the kernel developers when it comes to storage.
But the thing is, right, like, the way that the Linux kernel is organized, the guys at the top are supposed to trust the guys that are at the middle that trust the guys that are at the bottom, right? Like, so there is a subsystem team that is there's a subsystem lead that is in charge of file systems. There's a subsystem lead that's in charge of block devices. There's a subsystem lead that's in charge of all of storage. Those people are the ones that that actually matter. But the other part of it is that file systems in Linux also have to touch memory management. And so memory management is actually where most of these messes come into play, because and file systems, the people don't really, like, outside of a few incidents, don't really meet to each other very much. But, like, again, I speak from having to work in Butterfest, dealing with Bcachefs, even at, for a long time interfacing with OpenZFS, right? The reality is that the caring about storage and caring about advanced users' needs and caring about the stuff that we care about comes directly in proportion with the number of users that actually use those things in distributions where people are paid to work on it. And so right now, for example, Butterfest is primarily SUSE employees and Meta employees, because Meta, who works on the Fedora side of the ecosystem, and SUSE, who works on the OpenSUSE ecosystem, they work very hard on Butterfest stuff across the board. And then you have, some Oracle, a couple of Oracle folks in there. Then you have XFS, which is largely Red Hat people with a few Oracle folks. And then you have X4, which is Google. You have F2FS, which is Samsung and Google. And it goes down the road like this. The only thing that makes them care is when you have Linux distributions that are important and popular that employ kernel developers also using those file systems. So right now you've got Fedora, who has Meta folks supporting them, and you've got the SUSE distributions, which are supported by SUSE. And as a result, there is significant support, and people care a lot about Btrfs in the Linux kernel, because people who are paid to work on storage work on these distributions use Btrfs by default. And this is an important factor that a lot of people ignore. Like most Linux distributions that are like, oh, hey, we're going to show OpenZFS, or we're going to use Bcachefs or whatever, right? They are choosing things that knowingly do not have support from the upstream kernel. But if you choose something that does, and you have a problem, they are going to care a lot. But if you choose something that they don't have, that they can't care about, then they're just going to tell you to F off. That is how it works. That is the nicest way I can put it.
Well,
So,
just
Neil,
back
I
to
have
the
a question.
Oh yeah, go for it.
But this question also goes back to Wes and Chris. But Neil, what I hear you saying, and it makes sense in my mind, is that we have developers who are going to care about certain subsets of the ecosystem. And as you've laid it out, we have many different file systems from many different individual contributors. So realistically, it's not possible to care about all of them. Now, which of them to care about is a value call. That's not what this question is about. But my question to you, and by extension, Chris, is if we as the users get to this point where the thing we want to use is not the thing that becomes a blessed path in the kernel, but we want to use it, how do then we, as the users, take the responsibility of using it? What's the play of the people who are showing up to this show, or the people who are implementing stuff that aren't developers and aren't massive companies who can throw many zeros behind the significant digit on what they're willing to pay for it?
Well, I think it's you use an LTS kernel, you use distributions where you can control this a bit better. You know, it means you're not going to probably want to use Arch with a rolling kernel, right? You're going to have to take more precautions.
We also all kind of work together, both between the upstream projects and the community there, right? Like the OpenZFS project, for instance, like they were pretty Johnny on the spot with this, added like 30 or 50 lines of code.
618 isn't even out yet.
So, you know, you kind of have to be more informed, right? You don't get as much of the default support, but there are places you can go for support. Go on.
Like, so if you're using OpenZFS, for example, my recommendation would be to use an enterprise Linux distribution, because that is the #1 platform that is targeted for. Almost all the major people that actually use OpenZFS, they're running it on CentOS Stream or Alma Linux or RHEL.
Or
and
Ubuntu.
if you really want to, if you really upstream, we're talking about upstream OpenZFS. We're not talking about canonical in this sense. But if you are using upstream, if you want to use upstream OpenZFS, you should be using an enterprise Linux platform, because that is the platform that is best supported. They offer KMod packages. They offer discrete integrations for it. That is what you should be doing. If you're wanting to use something like Bcachefs, you're going to have to be prepared to use either A, custom kernels, or B, having to, get your hands dirty pretty much all the time. Because, for example, the latest Bcachefs code doesn't work without a patch set applied on top of the kernel. And that patch set will never make it into mainline, because mainline has a rule of not concerning themselves with out-of-tree anythings. So these are you're gonna have to take extra care to use these things.
I think specifically to TechDev's point, question though, some distros, like you're kind of getting to, Neil, but to get back to the point, some distros will focus specifically on supporting that thing, that particular workload or something like that. And that's probably, it's not a kernel blessed path, but it's a distribution blessed path.
Right. And like the end of the day is, so like, for example, if you pick using Ubuntu, you have to accept that you cannot use upstream OpenZFS software. You have to use what Canonical provides you.
Right. Yep.
And you have to hope that stays working. That may or may not remain true. I have personally experienced many times, having worked for many years in an Ubuntu shop, where the ZFS built into Ubuntu broke, and I had to do extra work to deal with that. But that is the price you pay. You have to make a choice, and you have to make a sacrifice of something else that you wanted to have this. And this is also true if you want to say, like, I want to have an advanced copy and write file system, but I don't want to do out of tree stuff. And you may not necessarily like Btrfs, but that's the one that's in the mainline, and that's the choice you have to go with. The upshot or downshot entirely depends on your perspective. And from my point of view, I think the upshot with using Btrfs is that they are highly responsive to users who come in and talk to them about stuff, and they will work with you very closely to get things fixed. And they're very nice about it, which is something I cannot say necessarily for every kernel developer. The fact that my experience with working with the Btrfs people for over 10 years has been super good is really, really a credit to the personalities of that team.
Yeah, a good track record.
I want to say I think that's improved over time too. I think maybe in the earlier there was a little less of a sense of that, at least for outsiders in the general Linux. But these days, I mean, it does really show, and I think that goes to, like, you know, of course, there's the reliability of the software itself, but if you feel well supported by the people developing it, that's one of the things that makes you say, yes, I'm willing to trust it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and at the end of the day,
I hear you, Neil.
You also want to deal with the fact that everything always breaks at some point. What happens when it breaks, how that is handled, is really, really important. And with Btrfs, I have reasonable confidence is that when, in the event that something does break, which hasn't happened for me in years, but when it does, like, I go to them and I show them the thing, and they help me not only recover my data, but they also make a fix so it doesn't happen again.
So I'm hearing you, Neil, and you're speaking to the point of the responsibility of total cost of ownership of a system for a user,
right?
Which makes perfect sense. I have a background in managing supercomputers and large data sets for universities and researchers. This is something we ran into quite a bit. We just had to assume that risk. However, I want to go back to something that Chris said and ask more about a social community aspect. Anyone can respond to this, though. If you're not the person who's going to maintain that, to assume the risk, if you're not the dark matter dev who's just keeping it running, if you're not someone with the chops to be able to do that, but you do want to use it, you're using it, you're voting with your hard drive by saying, this is the software that I want and these are the things that I want. How would you guys recommend then that users say, I actually want ZFS and I want it to be supported and I want it to be available for me when I install X distribution? What do those avenues look like? How do you make the voice heard if you're not committing code?
You can't. Because the problem is that fundamentally, if you are not, like, in open source and free software, in all of this stuff, the voice of saying, hey, I want this is not enough. The voice of, hey, I want this and I'm able to help you make it happen, that is important. And especially when it comes to kernel level stuff with file system stuff, the risk is so much higher for failure if the integration goes wrong. And this is an incredibly difficult part of it. Like, if you want to say you want to use ZFS, and that's all and great, realistically, the only thing that could ever make ZFS become a better supported thing is if Oracle could be convinced to release a successor to the CDDL that effectively relicenses it to be fully GPL compatible. And then at that point, the architecture of ZFS changes. The other option, of course, is that if OpenZFS moves to Fuse, which is, if they move to Fuse, then all these reliability problems that we're talking about go away too.
I think this is, I think ZFS is probably a lost cause because Oracle's involved. And that's why I'm really grateful that we have Btrfs. And that's why I use, on all my home lab stuff, I'm using Btrfs these days. Wes, you did have Bcachefs installed when it was in the kernel, and then you updated your system, and I guess you must have migrated to a DKMS module, right?
Well, NixOS just provides like a kernel that will build and support.
They have they merge the code back in for a little bit.
So you just, and it's a Zen version of the kernel? So you have that and the Zen version? Like I don't follow.
If you're willing to build your own, yeah.
I see. Okay.
I wonder how long that they're going to keep doing that, but like for now, that's the thing that the Nixos people provide, and partly because Kent is an enormous Nixos fan, that's a thing. But again, like it's up to you to figure out how you want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of how it goes. I can only say what I would recommend. I mean, Chris will only say what he can. But like the best thing to do is if you want to use something like OpenZFS, you should be on an enterprise Linux platform because that's the only platform you can guarantee will stay working throughout the entire lifetime of the distro.
There's other things you can do to be safe, right? Like you could make your root and your boot stuff
different,
extended for or Btrfs, and then your data set.
If you use ZFS only for data, then things are a lot less scary.
See, I think where Btrfs was an obvious win. I mean, I use it for data storage too, obviously, but I think where it was an obvious win was laptop SSDs, right? Because ZFS just doesn't really make sense in a single SSD on, a laptop where you're trying to save battery life and eke out performance. It's silly. ZFS is silly for that scenario, where Btrfs just makes a ton of sense in that scenario, I think.
I mean, Btrfs itself has SSD optimizations that other file systems don't have, right? Like, there's also things like zone storage support. So, like, if you have those SMR drives that Western Digital likes selling you now, like, Btrfs can handle them better than pretty much any other advanced file system. I know from personal experience, having dealt with OpenZFS on SMR drives, that it'll be bad. It'll be really, really bad.
It'll be bad.
And so, like, those are the things. And it's true that you don't have RAID 5.6, you don't have parity RAID, but you do have alternate RAID modes that can give you many of the same benefits. You also probably don't need parity RAID anymore with how big drives are now.
Coming in hot.
You probably don't want them because the recovery times are insane for these things. Like I remember working with 12x 16 terabyte drives, and the parity RAID recovery for RAID Z2 was days. Like and they didn't always succeed either because the recovery method for recovery could cause cascade disk failure. All the other disks would start failing because they were close to age anyway. And so like there are also risks when using RAID modes that you have to account for. And you have to think about things like, hey, did you make sure that your disks are all from different manufacturing times? Because if they're all from the same manufacturing time, they will all blow up at the same time. You can see this is what happened with that most recent matrix.org down moment where like they lost their database, they lost a bunch of storage. That was all because their disks were all from the same manufacturing time. And so they all blew up and died from cascade disk failure at the same time.
It is a thing, yeah.
It is indeed.
There's a lot you have to think about when it comes to storage, and it's not just the file system. It's the system architecture, it's the hardware, it's even the lifetimes of the hardware. You have to keep track of a lot to do it right. And guess what? Most people aren't gonna. Even big professional people don't until they get bitten because they don't know that this will happen.
All right, so I got to remind everybody tuning in. We're about to start the show, and we need your title suggestions.
Oh,
so
please suggest.
get in that Matrix chat room if you would. Get in
We
there.
haven't started the show yet?
No, and look at Magnolia Mayhem doing the heavy lift in that chat room. We got Byte in there, PJ's in there, Tech Dev's in there, Bitten's in there. Come on, get in that Matrix chat room. Help everybody out and give us a good title. We need a good title.
Boy, they are doing a lot with mayo these days.
Wow.
It's true. It's true. Bradley, are you good? You okay over there, buddy? You good over there?
Yeah, you good? You got everything you need?
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Don't you need a thing or
I
sex?
couldn't say. Do you? Are you need anything? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Does Brand look ready? He
Hey,
looks pretty
Chris.
ready.
I'm all out of sorts, I tell you what. Yeah. Out of sorts.
So you know how our DMs aren't working? Well,
I can't see. Well, it's not just our
ante.
DMs. I can't see you in any room, anywhere.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is I can see your messages, and I can see when you DM me, but you can't see mine for some
A
reason.
long saga.
But I'm upping the ante because I just DM'd you a link to a 10-hour fan-made Star Trek audio drama.
Wes, you can confirm.
He's trying to get you.
Wes, you can confirm over here. I have no DMs.
I don't see any.
I have no. These are all the people.
Uh-huh.
I have no DMs from Colonel right here. Here's one from Carl, which I need to read. But look, Wes can confirm there is.
I can indeed.
There is no.
Well, and see, I could be extra evil, and if Brent there is willing to not share the link with you, I could send it to him, and then he could tell you how awesome
There you go.
audio drama is.
There you go.
He probably needs.
I don't know why
I
he
think
can talk
he needs
to
a
you guys.
good audio drama.
We're all on the same server. This is so bizarre.
Did you block him?
No.
No, we've checked that. So the weird thing is, Conan, that I can see when Chris posts, and I can see when Chris DMs me, but he can't see any of my messages.
Yeah, I don't even see you show up as DMing me. That's the thing. It's so weird. And like you and I could be chatting in a room, and I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know you're there.
Yep.
It's the craziest thing.
But again, if we're both in like a chat room, like a public one, then I can see Chris's messages, but he can't see mine. They're just like they never exist for him.
Huh.
But everybody else, including other people on the JB server, can.
I think Wes is just trolling us.
I wouldn't do that.
Did you alias my username to /temp or something? But just for Chris.
Troll.
Sadly, I don't actually know how to do that.
That'd be great. Every time I'd try, only aliases he cares about are Nano to Vim. I have been thinking about trying out Lazy Vim. We'll see. All right. Well, I'm going to take a real quick break, and then
I
I think
a
we'll
little
get started.
intermish would be good. Just to
You
reset.
deserve it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
So Brett,
Okay.
did you get the latest cat memes that I sent you?
Whoa, no, I didn't see that. Am I missing your messages too?
That's what I'm wondering.
What the heck? Oh no, my bad. I just got 3 unread from you. Oof. Sorry.
Yeah, it helps if you actually look to see if there are messages.
I have to say, Element on my phone has been so hit and miss. Half the time, it doesn't even like it. Every time I open it, it says it has crashed.
So
It's very annoying.
Ever since I moved to my Galaxy S24 Ultra, Element has worked perfectly. I wonder if it just needs gobs of RAM and CPU.
That's cost confirmed.
Because ever since I switched to this phone last year, Element has worked perfectly on my phone.
Well, and the other thing too is I have both my old phone and I have a new Giraffe OS phone. And I have them sitting right next to each other, and a message comes in. The Giraffe OS phone pings, and then the other one pings. So there's something about that too.
Interestingly atypical, I have the opposite experience. I've got 2 identical Pixel 9s here, and stock Android, I can only get notifications if I do battery or turn off battery optimization for Element, but then it does kind of suck down the battery. However, on Graphene, I can't get notifications to work. Also, sorry, Jeff, I'm not ignoring you. It's because of notications.
It's cool.
So-
It's the back end. You don't have Google Play services, so that's why I'm using Shieldy Chat, and that links really well with the Nextcloud, Nextpush stuff. So I got Nextpush running, Shieldy Chat, and another Telegram app, and everything's going through Nextpush for me now. So much
You
better.
are impressive, sir.
I have a very long conversation I want to have with you, Jeff.
So one setting for anybody who's on a device that doesn't have the Google services installed is in the Element settings. You can go in and change the priority to optimize for battery versus optimize for real time. And that makes a difference on your notifications.
All right, gentlemen. Good chat. I think it's time to get started. I'm going to suggest my first title before we get started.
Yeah, get in the habit. It's good to make that a habit.
Get it going. Chat room is open. We'd like to have you in there. Brent, are you ready to record, sir?
No, now I'm checking all my Element DMs. Give Give me a quick moment here. Boop, 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 boop. Those are my getting ready sounds. Do, do, do. Okay, I'm all set.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do it. In 3, 2, 1, record. Hello, Drew. Hello.
Drewski, hello.
Drew. Okay, checking soundboard.
You need a Drew song at some point, I think.
Yeah, we should. We should have a Drew song. Okay, everybody, let's jump in at 4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Four.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think the echo's still on.
I don't know if this is worth sharing as a pre-show or not, so Drew, you can include it or not, but it's crazy stormy in the Pacific Northwest this weekend. Wes and I have been sharing crazy weather notes back and forth.
Yeah, you got to keep up to date on where the latest power outage is.
Did you ever lose power?
No, thankfully not.
The studio did not lose power either. And I thought I was doing pretty good because I'm out in the woods, kind of up against the mountains, and the power didn't really seem like it was going to flicker. The wind didn't really seem like it was blowing too hard. 9:50 p.m. I hear this cha-chunk. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. Like, it sounds like, like a transformer or something like that.
Large piece of electrical equipment.
And I sit there for a second, and I said, okay, I need to pay attention to that. Yes, it's late, and I'm tired. And I had a couple of drinks because we went trick-or-treating, and they were giving out Jello shots to the adults. I did not plan on that, so I'm like, okay, thanks. So I'm like, all right, fine. I go to check it. Sure enough, we've lost shore power. I pull it up on the map, and then, oh, yeah, we're out. And I announce it to the kids. It's not really easy to tell because all the lights are on because we have a battery
The system
bank.
just works,
Yeah.
right?
So I announce it to the kids. I'm like, hey, guess what? The power's out. They're like, it is? And the kids look around. They look out the window and they see the campground's dark. I go, well, can't we at least turn out the lights? Doesn't misfire. But that's where the intro music would go, right there.
I was hearing it in my
Me
mind.
too, yeah, for sure.
I had the wrong channel muted, I think. Okay, here we go. Now just seamlessly insert it like it happened smoothly. Real smooth like.
Ooh.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to your weekly Linux talk show. My name is Chris.
My name is Wes.
And my name is Brent.
Hello, gentlemen. Well, coming up on the show this week, we'll tell you what's interesting about the new Fedora 43 release and a thing that they're doing that we think every Linux distribution should copy. And then we'll round it out with some shout-outs, some boosts, some picks, and a lot more. So before we go any further, before we get into that show, we have to say time-appropriate greetings to our virtual lug. Hello, Mumble Room.
Hello.
It's quite the group.
It's on fire over there.
I know. There's like some work going on in the background.
Maybe a
like,
riding lawnmower? It's unclear.
things are happening, and I love it. Yeah, our virtual lug gets together every Sunday, and you're welcome to join us. That's at jupiterbroadcasting.com/mumble. And, of course, you need the Mumble app, which is, packaged everywhere. So you'll be able to find that. Also, a big good morning to our friends over at Defined Networking. Go check out Nebula. Defined.net/unplugged is where you want to go to support the show and meet Managed Nebula from Defined Networking. It's a decentralized VPN built on an open source platform that we love called Nebula. Top to bottom, you're in complete control. They offer a managed product or something that you can completely self-host. It's optimized for speed, simplicity, and it uses industry-leading security. And Nebula's decentralized design, that's something I'm big into. It means your network is resilient. If you got a home lab or a global enterprise, it will work for you. They developed it for Slack originally. Now, of course, it runs many networks. I can't tell you all of them, but it still manages all of the Slack infrastructure. They run all of their interconnectivity over that. Also, every Rivian vehicle going down the road is using Nebula to protect the data and the metrics there. And, one of the things that can be tricky if you want to self-host would be setting up the Lighthouse. That's kind of where you start. That's where Managed Nebula is really nice. But there are easier ways to get going with a Lighthouse these days, and that's the thing that you host that's responsible for keeping track of all your Nebula hosts and helping them find each other when they come online. And they don't actually transfer data themselves. It's more like node discovery. And Wes, one of the things that you and I have been watching is there's more public nodes coming online that you can use, and there's now a way to make it even easier to get set up.
Yeah, right. So there's this public Nebula Lighthouse service. One of the things that's neat is Nebula is so flexible that you can do this. So you can have someone run the Lighthouse And with a little automation, there's like a Python service that runs here around it. You can make it so you can submit your Nebula info to it so it can work as a lighthouse for you. There are a couple steps you want to take just for security so that you can do this safely. But they have good docs for that we'll have linked. And listener Blumenstrong has taken it upon themselves to start a Nix package for that as well. So it's even easier.
Ha ha! How cool is that? Is that something I should be looking at?
Well, maybe we should run one. I don't know.
A JB Lighthouse.
Right?
I'd be down for that. Well, thanks, Blumenstrong. Nice work on that. So go check out Nebula. It's awesome if you want to self-host it yourself, or really, why not start with the managed product? Also could be a great option for friends, family, or your enterprise. It's a great way to support the show. Defined.net/unplugged. Redefine your VPN experience with something you can actually control. Define.net/unplugged. Well, Fedora Linux 43 has been officially cleared for release, probably just about the time you're listening to this, October 28th. That's a Tuesday, 2025. And there's a lot to like in here. We weren't sure exactly when it would land. You know, they kind of have these windows of time, and then the team gets together. They have a go, no-go meeting, and then they decide if it's ready or not.
Yeah, it kind of keeps things interesting this time, anytime there's a release in progress.
And one of the things they do is they have a blocker bug tracker where you can specifically see what's holding up the release. So if you're trying to kind of plan when Fedora might land, most of you probably aren't, but we do, it's really nice that they just publish a blocker tracker. And you can say, this doesn't really apply to me. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and install it.
And true open source, transparent, and just great.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we did, because the blockers that were there were no big deal for us at all. And the rest of the bits looked good. And this is the release where we finally get the new Web UI installer. And Wes, you've kind of been the biggest Anaconda hater on the show.
Ouch. You just had to say that.
I just put it out there.
Yeah, well.
I mean, I know you warmed up to it a little bit as time went on.
Yeah, hate's a strong word, but it's never been my favorite of the common installers. That's true.
Yep. So it's now the default installer. And
we got it. It had been in use for Workstation, but it hadn't really rolled out wider. So now this time it is.
Yeah. Let's start there, Wes. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm definitely a fan of the new web installer approach. I'm still kind of getting used to the flavor and the limitations, and, I'm giving it early days and all that. I did notice as part of that, just kind of poking around while I was getting things installed, and I wonder if our friend Neil could comment on this, something called Slitherer.
Yeah. So what is Slitherer?
Jesus.
What is that?
So Slitherer is a alternative, purposeful web engine runner built on Qt Web Engine to run the Anaconda Web UI. And the reason it exists is because the quote-unquote default is to use Firefox, and that's what's used on Workstation. Almost every other spin, experience, whatever, using Firefox causes problems because then it confuses the window manager. And if you, for example, preload window rules for like how Anaconda is supposed to show up like on a tiling window manager, it will screw up because it will also affect Firefox, the web browser, and all these other things. So by having a dedicated web runner that has its own name that identifies as Anaconda, things like window management rules, or you want to deconfuse the desktop shell or whatever these things, if you have things that apply to Firefox, they won't apply to Anaconda. If you have things that only apply to Anaconda, they won't apply to Firefox. It's basically avoiding and also it won't cause things like, oh, hey, you have mixed up profiles, you have settings coming carrying over for one or the other. Weird stuff like that doesn't happen either. And so Slitherer is basically a very, very simple wrapper that runs the Anaconda Web UI through Qt Web Engine, and that's used just to make it so that we don't have these weird, complicated problems that result in things like, oh, hey, I can't launch Firefox randomly because Firefox gets confused that Anaconda is also running and Anaconda is also Firefox, or that the wrong icon shows up or the wrong ID shows up when you're trying to scan for this, or when you want to do restart the application or kill it or whatever, or something freezes up, all these things. So many edge cases that come up weirdly enough, that matter for an installation experience. So Slither deals with that by just not being a regular web browser.
Sure, sort of purpose built.
Yeah, well, nicely done. Because I mean, I think it's kind of one of the things, the flexibility you get, and maybe problem you have to solve when you make a big switch like this. So it's cool to see, how do you actually make this possible to roll out wider? And I do think, it's a more direct, it's a simpler experience. It felt a little faster to me just going through the full install to get my system down, and I was trying the KDE spin this time around. I also noticed.
Excellent.
I also noticed this time when you boot into it, it even has a nice little thing that reminds you how much Fedora loves KDE and KDE loves Fedora.
That's great. Yeah, also under the hood, the installer switches from DNF4 to DNF5 for package management.
Finally.
That's pretty fun.
Not that you'll experience any of that,
No,
because
you shouldn't.
Because the only thing that actually uses that backend is Fedora server install DVD and the net install ISOs. Everything else is just, it's an image-based install.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what the impact of this is, but I read.
Hey, some of us love a good net install.
I read in the notes too that the RPM package format is actually still version 4, which is going to be upgraded in the future.
Yeah, so we have RPM 6, but it's set to the V4 format for backwards compatibility because, the build system infrastructure is still running older Fedora. There's things that are still on RHEL in the infrastructure. Moving to the V6 format would just break everything right now.
That makes sense. Bite it off as its own thing.
Yeah, so that's going to happen separately later.
Yeah. So let's talk a few details here. We got in Workstation, we have a version of GNOME now that is deprecating X11 support. So of course you'll still have X Wayland, but that's the only way you're going to be able to run legacy X applications. Other spins in desktop environments still support X11. This is an upstream GNOME change that lands. And
the future's here.
The future, I guess so. The Wayland future, I guess, is here, right? I suppose so. I don't have a lot of thoughts on that other than we knew this was coming. It was signaled for a while, and I think all of my systems have been Wayland for years. So kind of makes sense.
There are other options, so I still have some remaining sympathy for folks where it doesn't work, but it really has progressed to a point of regular usability, which is great.
I don't often comment on this, but what is striking is the new wallpaper. I love it. I really think it's great.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites in the last few releases, I think.
I think it's my favorite since the DNA wallpaper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I feel like you're a little biased, Chris.
Oh, yeah? Why is that? Because it's a rocket?
Yeah, because it's a giant JB rocket, pretty much.
I think it's fantastic. I love it.
It is really nice. The backstory is really nice, too.
Yeah. Do you have a TLDR version, an elevator version of the backstory?
Well, it's basically inspired by Sally Ride. And Sally Ride's legacy. She was the first American woman to go to space. I guess that was June 18th, 1983. So just a nice little chunk of history there. And I like that idea of doing wallpapers based on a little slice of history.
Let's talk about some nitty gritty stuff, because I always love these kinds of under the hood things. And I bet you were really excited to see this, and I'm not joking. /boot on a new install is going from 1 gigabyte to 2 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's probably about time.
If you're just upgrading, of course, that's not going to be the case. But yes. How big do you make your /boot?
Yep, at least a gig, probably 2. I've gone up to 5 before.
Yeah, 5 is my max, 2 is my minimum. 2 is my minimum.
I like having some excess space. Maybe you store an emergency ISO on there or backups and stuff.
Brent, do you have a minimum size for your /boot?
Yeah, I go at least 2. Yeah. I've certainly run into issues on encrypted systems where kind of everything gets stored there. And definitely Ubuntu is, when my parents are using it, let's say, it's not great at expunging things in there. So they have way too many kernels and stuff. And that has brought down my mother's computer more times than I care to admit. So I now have a task every 6-ish months I had to go through and clear that because it's a tiny little boot. So I say, disk is cheap. Make it as large as, I don't know, just go crazy.
Yeah, I'd be 5? Curious.
We going 5?
I say boost in and tell us how big your /boot is.
Why not just run the whole system off your boot,
Well,
and I wonder, it's fine.
You say that. And I personally, over the last few months, I've started moving my personal systems to have boot as a Btrfs subvolume, so I don't have to think about how big it needs to be.
Yeah, sweet.
And that's
slick.
That's probably the longer term solution.
Yeah.
for defaults. And I mean, the only real case where you need boot to be a separate partition is if you're doing full disk encryption, because something has to be unencrypted to boot the rest of the system. And so, like, and even then, you can waffle around a little bit about this. There are things you can do, but like in general, I think that's the longer term goal, is to move towards having boot be a subvolume on if you're installing on Btrfs. OpenSUSE already does it this way, and I think longer term, I think that's the way that most distros need to start doing, is like go to Btrfs by default and make your boot a subvolume on that Btrfs volume, because like otherwise you are going to be full of nasty compromises, especially in the Debian family, where they don't have a way of keeping the kernels installed manageable. Like, I think this is the reason that the Debian family doesn't default to a separate boot partition in general, because there is no technology in their stack to manage that, and that's a big problem. So, like, I think in general, this is the path we'll have to move towards, is boot needs to be a subvolume, and it needs to be part of the main operating system Btrfs volume, and people are probably going to start having to use Btrfs by default to handle this properly.
Is this an extra issue with image-based distros as well? Because you're downloading
everything's
chunks and throwing them in there.
Everything's a royal pain in the butt if you are doing an image-based deployment, or if you're using this, quote unquote immutable /atomic / whatever, because like handling boot is way more complicated when you don't actually have when the way that this is all managed is supposed to be, in theory, atomically updated together. A lot of them, what they do is just ignore it, and then that stuff just never gets updated, and everything just gets quietly broken over time. But it's a difficult problem for them, because like the way that they're set up is they just don't have a way of putting those things into place where, like, you can handle the transition from one to the other. You can have multiple versions of them. You can have fallbacks and all this other stuff. It's way, way more complicated in those systems as opposed to the traditional systems.
I can tell because I follow the Bootsy project on GitHub, and there is constant work going on over there.
That's probably enough on boot. I want to nail a couple of other under the hood changes. My system was running 6.17.1. I believe 6.17.5 is the latest. It came out on October 23rd, so pretty fresh kernel in there. You get some new hardware feedback interfaces, which I think mostly is going to impact Ryzen processors. There's also some improvements for Intel multi-core scheduling in there, which could mean smoother multitasking. And then I think the one, for those of you that are trying to get higher res webcams these days, there's been an update to the IPU7 driver in Linux 6.17. But speaking of the immutable distributions, Fedora Kinoite decided to enable auto updates by default. And this is done via Discover, which supports automatically updating the system in a rather safe, RPM OS tree staged update, so it applies at the next boot. And of course, you can roll back if you don't like it, or if something breaks, or you can disable it altogether. But kind of an aggressive step. Do you have any thoughts on this one, Neil, about automatical updates on the Kinoite?
Well, it's been a long-term goal of Timothy Ravier, who works on Kinoite specifically, and I think in general for these systems, I personally am not a fan of automatic updates. I don't like them because I have been burned by them. But with these systems, the risk is relatively low that you get screwed over by an automatic update. It really, the main problems come in when you have bootloader and kernel updates that come in as part of it, that things get a little dicey.
I'll say I've been using automatic updates on Aurora since Summit.
Yeah, and it should be fine, right? It's in general, ideally, if you are making releases of OS tree commits or OCI archives, the new update bundles, you have made sure that they work. You have some way of making sure that they work before they go out to people. And if you don't, then you really, really need to rethink how you're doing your atomic or immutable or whatever you want to call it distribution, because if you're not doing that, then you are just you're putting everyone at risk because everything is your fault. That's how that works, right? So for the automatic updates, because we have a decent amount of quality testing for this stuff, it's fine, and I think it's okay to have. And it kind of brings us in line with how other people, like Fedora CoreOS already does it this way. You updates are applied automatically, and you just don't notice. And so bringing Fedora Kinoite in line with what Fedora CoreOS and all the others do is fine.
I have some thoughts. I tried a quote-unquote atomic spin for what we're going to get into some of our experiences with 43 directly. And so far the updates have gone smooth, but it's like, I'm a week in. But I just love seeing them kind of push the envelope a little bit there. And then it's a pretty accessible thing for users to disable. It's in Discover. It's not like they have to go digging through a config or even the command line. And I think that's a nice balance there too. Wes, is there anything else? Like, I know there's a new compression for init. I mean, there's a few other things in here. Anything else jump out at you?
Yeah, I mean, you just get like a nice modern OS, right? So you get Python 3.14, which is an excellent Python release, definitely worth upgrading. Also Postgres 18, which just came out, has some fancy new IOU ring support. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to like. I do think better compression of the initRD that goes along with your improved /boot support for just more robust.
Yeah, just get a little more out of that.
Yeah,
just get a little bit more, squeak a little bit more out of that.
I did see downstream. There's kind of some interesting things. Build Fedora CoreOS using container files.
Yeah,
Podman now. That's a big change. So look at that marching on.
It is nice to see. Okay, so that's sort of some of the technical stuff about 43 that we thought was interesting. Now I think it's time to talk about our experiences with it hands-on and the bit that all the other distributions out there should be ripping off. But first, let's go to 1Password, everybody. You ready, Brent? Get a tab open.
There's no way he's ready.
Number 1Password.com.
I was opening a snack.
Unplugged.
So,
I went there already. I admit it. I went there. I'm sorry.
See, you cheat.
I'm
just going to go now, too.
I'm just used to doing it. I know. You want to do it again?
Weeks of cheating here.
You want, no.
So sure, yeah.
Yeah, but clear your
all
cache.
of your layers of cache.
Okay, all right. Got it. You're making me clear the cache, too. Okay.
Yeah, pull up the inspector.
All right, no, I got.
Let's get the timing from that.
I get a new IP address while you're at it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You gonna count us down or what?
Okay, yeah, I am.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I was just asking if you're ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I win.
Got it.
I think Jeff won.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And he's
Mine's
really
real slow.
got like communication.
Try it yourself. Support the show. 1Password.com/unplugged. It's a great way to
Race Jeff today.
See if you can beat Jeff's time. Yeah. Brantley, do you want to set me up with a little, my thing here when we get back?
Sure can do.
Okay, thanks.
Sure can do.
Just shout that, Brent.
Thanks, Brent. Here we go in a 3s, 2s.
Well, while I was on the road this week, getting back home, you boys really did a deep dive. And Chris, I feel like some of what we learned on the trip might have spilled into this review.
Indeed. I thought this would be a quick visit, and I ended up moving in. I really like the idea of pairing Cosmic Desktop with a Atomic Linux base. There's something to me that seems like it's a really nice match, because the way they do it's all you get all the updates in one, and that desktop is fairly frequently updated. So it all comes down as an image update. If something doesn't work right, you just roll back. But obviously it hasn't been a problem.
And Cosmic has that kind of nice. It's already pretty simple, but it's also kind of got that clean separation, right? So
it does.
It does have all your data in your user location, and
yeah, the config and the application state are separated in a way where like I could be backing that up too separately or taking snapshots. So there's a lot of like safety mechanisms I could put in here. And you get a modern desktop that's frequently updated with sort of an insurance policy that if something breaks, you can roll back, and a pretty stable base. So I find that to be true with Hyperlin, by the way, as well. I pull from the main branch on my system at home, and some days when I'm working on something, I'll update Hyperland maybe the most has even been 3 times in one day. I don't know, man, that guy's cranking it out like crazy. And it just works because, I'm crazy, I guess, but it's just worked. And I'm months into the setup, and it's been working great. So I really like it. And so I thought, well, let's take a look at all the different atomic spins. And I saw the Cosmic atomic spin. And boy, was I surprised. Boy, was I surprised. I'm trying this on the Dell Nixbook that Olympia Mike gave us, which is a low end. It's a bit of a dog. It's a little tired. It's a little tired. The battery's dead for the most part. And running Fedora Cosmic, I could not believe how instant. I meant to bring the laptop into the room for you, Wes. Like, you click the file manager icon, and it's immediately on the screen. You click the terminal icon, and by the time your finger is coming off the mouse, the terminal is up on the screen. The text editor, everything launches so fast. It's like, because I mean, how long have we been using this laptop? When did Olympia Mike give this to us?
I think
Scale?
Linux Fest Northwest.
Linux Fest, so since April.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
tried a lot of different things on there.
I've had Bluefin on there. I've had Nix on there. I've had Hypervibe on there. I've never experienced the performance like this. I've just was absolutely blown away. And you know, if I'm using a really minimal desktop, that's not too surprising. But this is a full-featured desktop, what I've customized the look on and everything like that. And to experience it on what was it's essentially, it was a thrown-away laptop. It was a thrown-away laptop. Okay, I mean, like, it's blowing my mind. So I just had to stick around and keep using it. I was sold.
How much have you customized it? Have you like made yourself a custom workflow? Have you kind of just taken the defaults?
So the things, I mean, I'm mostly doing is playing around with the theming. I have the second desktop set to tiling, the first desktop set to floating. Loving that. For me, like, Firefox is still not great, but like the main desktop is so responsive. Like, I'm showing my wife, she's like, okay. I'm like, she's like, that's probably how it should be. I'm like, yeah, well, I know that's how it should be, but it hasn't been like that. She didn't care. She didn't care at all.
But you got to load Windows on there to make a really good comparison.
I'm not sure if Go ahead, Brent.
I got the feeling you didn't choose Cosmic specifically for its speed improvements.
No.
Oh, was that a surprise?
Yeah, I just thought, well, I wanted to try one of the more recent builds of Cosmic, and you know, after we'd gone down there, and the one I had tried, I rebased my Aurora to Cosmic, but it's an older build, and because I think it's based on what's ever packaged for 42. So I wanted to try it since this is, you know, the current hottest stuff, and wow, really impressed. So that was my review rig. I think I might have hit a bug in the Cosmic Software Center because I had network connectivity issues when I was trying to add the Flatpak repo, and had to reboot the machine. And when I came back, I didn't have any options to add either the Flat Hub repo or the Cosmic repo. I was able to add them at the command line just fine. And so I haven't had a chance to reproduce that, but I'm not sure what happened there. But it was otherwise so great. I mean, I'm really, other than I can't just like drop to the terminal and DNF install whatever I want. I wouldn't even, for the first 5 minutes, I forgot I was on an Atomic system because I was just, you know, I'm just using Flatpaks, installing it, and it just completely felt like a regular Linux box that was just super fast. And I want to speak more to that when we get to what other distros should rip off, but I think that's enough for me. What did you think, Wes? I think you tried the Plasma Edition, you said?
Yes, I did.
All right. How'd that go?
So I finally got the the installer over there, which was great. And as I was mentioning, right, when you kind of first come in, you get this Fedora loves KDE, KDE loves Fedora.
Yeah.
And it really shows because it's like within living memory, right, that the KDE spin was a little bit second class, and these days it is nothing but first class. And it's totally usable outside of the box. And, you know, I'm running Plasma all the time, and it's a really nice, I don't find I need to do much to be able to just use it as a very productive computer.
Yeah.
Which I like. Except this time around, well, it turned out that just the way things aligned, Plasma 6.5 had just come out, but it hadn't really made it into Fedora yet. But SIG member Steve Cassette went ahead and made a copper that you could enable and easily get that. So, you know, I had to.
That is awesome. Oh, great. So you get absolute fresh Plasma.
Yeah, fresh kernel.
Yeah.
Fresh Fedora. Fresh Plasma.
I do know, he says, Steve says, every so often, KDE releases a new Plasma version smack at the start of Fedora's freeze period for a new release, forcing us to wait to create a new release in Fedora. This is fine for most users, but for some of us with the shiny syndrome, I have to admit that that hit a little bit.
Us?
Yeah.
No.
They want to see those of us that want to see what's new in KDE Plasma 6.5, and we want to be able to update as soon as possible. My name is Steve, and I'm one of the KD SIG packagers, and I got a bit annoyed about the state of affairs, so I decided to do something about it.
And we sure appreciate it.
That's so great. So how did the installation go?
Easy. I mean, I pretty much, there's like a one-liner to add the copper and then update your system, and I rebooted just, for good measure, and I had it. And then after that, it's just been great because I've been playing with Plasma 6.5, which is excellent.
Are you enjoying your rounded corners?
I am, yes. You get rounded corners. You also get automatic light to dark theme switching based on time of day, which, I don't know, just feels like it must appeal to you, right?
I do like that.
Based on your, love of Home Assistant automations.
Uh-huh.
I like seeing, because I'm a huge clipboard manager Plasma addict, and so they've added pinned clipboard items with 6.5.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so if you have stuff you kind of just want to leave around, while you're working or forever.
Your password, your password,
you can do
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
There's some drawing tablet improvements, which is kind of nice to see. They've also transformed what was the Flatpak permissions page into a general application permissions page where you can configure apps' ability to do things like take screenshots, accept remote control requests. Speaking of big improvements for the built-in RDP server, you can share the clipboard for one, which is pretty convenient when you're remote. You're also no longer required to manually create separate RDP accounts. You can just use the regular accounts as you expect, using their regular credentials in the RDP client app. So be careful with that. Don't go exposing that everywhere. But it's nice because it's been a long time to have like robust remote desktop Wayland era Linux world,
and it feels like both on GNOME and on Plasma, it's like you really got options.
Getting there. Yeah.
It's just pretty much like check a box on most distros.
We tried this on our recent trip, and there's really mixed support in general on platforms, but on Plasma, the QR code sort of sharing of Wi-Fi networks, that's getting better. And they just actually show you the password too. So if the QR code doesn't work like we were experiencing, you have the password right there to share as well. There's been some audio improvements, which is nice just because there's a lot you can do with Pipewire these days, and some accessibility improvements, including the zoom effect can now be configured to jump to the position of your text insertion point, not just like to the mouse, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I do like to see that.
There's also some new stuff like playing a sound when you plug in a device. Just gonna make it super clear. You also get a notification as well, but you can turn all of that off if you don't like it.
I'm like back in the XP days.
Oh, yeah.
I
wonder if I can get that file.
If anybody has a link.
KRunner, the wonderful launcher on Plasma, that's getting some improvements too. It now uses fuzzy matching to look up applications in a more robust way. So even if you misspell an app's name, it'll probably still find it for you.
Boy, that'll be useful for me.
Yes. Also, the way that the search results are ordered has been improved. And it's faster. It now provides these results after the very first character is typed. So all things that you want in a launcher.
Indeed.
Discover's getting nicer too, right? You talked about getting updates this time around. So Discover will be improving to help with that. It's also got support now for Flatpak plus HTTPS URLs, which means the install buttons on FlatHub actually work.
Yes.
Which is great.
A long-awaited feature.
There's also some improvements to the emoji picker, which is just nice because that's turned out to be a pretty handy.
People use that.
They really do.
Not us, of course.
No, never.
There's
also some nice KWin improvements, including the much talked about overlay panes, which sort of reduce compositing when you have like a full screen or a game going on. They've also optimized various stuff like the splash screen code, rearranging some of the startup steps, reducing the duration of the login animation, a lot of things to make not only long-time applications and windowing faster, but also just getting to your desktop.
I'll mention, because that's all great, I will mention that GNOME 49 ships in the workstation spin, and we have talked about this before a bit, so I'll just mention a couple of quick highlights. There's a new document viewer, Papers, in here, new calendar updates as well. But I wanted to actually touch on the similar thing here. They've increased or improved, enhanced is the word they used, the remote desktop capabilities, and they provide more capabilities for those that want to connect to GNOME desktops from otherwhere like multi-touch. So I guess probably if you're coming in from a tablet, that could be really nice. Relative mouse input is required by some apps, and is particularly relative to those playing games over a remote connection.
Okay, what?
But this one,
see that bug report.
See, this is okay. This is impressive. Extended virtual monitors. It is now possible to have additional virtual monitors when using GNOME as a remote desktop. Additional displays can be added to the remote desktop session from the remote desktop client, even when there aren't additional displays physically present.
Brent's going to make so many of these.
Oh, I want to do this.
That sounds like I want that.
I think we might need to have some sort of remote desktop competition.
Oh, that's a good idea. You should write that down. We've mentioned this before, but just really quickly, the lock screen has had some security improvements, specifically around media controls and the way it runs. The Do Not Disturb toggle has been moved from the notifications list to the quick settings for a more consistent experience. Power connected status with the battery icon on the top bar now indicates when the computer is connected to power or if it's charging or not, like, the preserve battery health setting. And you now have better HDR brightness controls. And you can also reboot and shut down from the lock screen in a way that is implemented in a, I guess you could say, secure and improved way. And there's also image loading that's been sandboxed. We mentioned this too before, but GTK apps now have sandboxed image loading.
That is a big thing.
Yeah, so a really nice GNOME 49, and you can get, if you like, if you're crazy, you can even get the absolute latest Plasma in 43. So there's a lot to like between the spins and just the flexibility of both Workstation and the KDE spin. There's a lot to like. But I think there's something in here, and you touched on it earlier, that just about every other distro could focus on a bit more. And Fedora's not perfect, so I'm not trying to, as the kids would say, glaze them here. The more familiar you are with anything, the more flaws you see. But one of the things that we notice by going through the release notes of the different distributions is Fedora is constantly tidying things up and moving forward in technical areas and in little areas that I think other distributions maybe ignore for a few years longer than they should sometimes.
Yeah, not only is there like a sort of modern aspect to it, but you're right, there's sort of like an attention to detail, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure as upstream changes, you are still doing like the integration and configuration of those components the best way that you can.
And sometimes, people don't like some of the changes. Like an example this time might be they're rolling with GNOME removing X11 support. But there's other things in here. In fact, I did some recent examples of just this sort of thing. In Fedora 33, Systemd Resolved was enabled by default. ButterFS was also in Fedora 33. Pipewire landed in 34. WirePlumber in 35. They were really early on that. They were also aggressively early on smarter out-of-memory handling. They rolled out a first version in 32 and improved it in 34. Switched to NTFS tables in the 32 to 41 releases. Unified user bin and /user sbin with a symlink in Fedora 42, and so on and etc. Like there's to small things to large things like audio subsystems where they're constantly pushing this stuff forward in a way that has been a very consistent user experience. The end result that I get is something that feels clean and modern. It's a weird thing to say because all Linux, especially compared to its commercial counterparts, all Linux is very modern. But Fedora feels especially leading edge and modern, even compared to Arch and rolling NixOS. It's just because it's not just about the packages.
Right. Yeah, there's something you get extra. It's not just straight upstream.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. And I think this sort of attention to modernization and detail and trying to track upstream is something that other distributions could ape from a little bit. Some of our other, large distribution friends out there, they kind of build up some technical debt, and then they come along and they make big dramatic changes, big sweeping changes, and that's very exciting, right? But Fedora is very iterative. It's always like, and it's only when you look back at 3 or 4 releases and you go, whoa.
Which is also meant, I think, as you've experienced yourself, right? Like it's also something where you get a lot of updates, but you're happy to do the updates, especially with DNF under the hood, which is every time I use Fedora, it's just. It's a great package, man.
Oh, I'm using RPMOS Tree now, Wes. So I don't use DNF, but that's real nice. All right, let's do what is the it's Join Crowd Health. Join Crowd Health. Let's go to joincrowdhealth.com. I didn't spell that right. I got to get my links. You know what I mean?
They're in somewhere.
Yeah, joincrowdhealth.com.
I can find them again if you want.
Oh, if I had my phone in here, this is just for you. But if I had my phone in here, I'll tell you right now. Boop, 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 boop. How long have I been?
Got those Windows XP sounds you wanted.
Oh, you did? Oh, thank you. Nice.
They're in JB chat.
That
Oh,
was
this is
some quick
interesting.
work.
So I opened up the app, because I wanted to see how long I've been a member. June 30th, 2022. I opened up the app, and in here I have at the top review crowdfunding request, and I can review the request. I can see it's a member in Washington who had an emergency, and it's they're asking for $170 would be my contribution, and I just have a screen here where I can approve or deny if I want to, and I'll just approve it. It's pretty much what I always do, and there you go. Do that's how it works. And then if I ever have a medical request, it sort of works the same way. And so you get a score. So if you deny a lot of them, then your score kind of it's a scored system. But the app aspect of it is interesting. Okay, so then that's one, and then let's do one more. You ready? Because these guys are about to have a big release. Unraid.
What's the? It's a dot.
.net/unplugged.
Like
Unraid.net/unplugged, like the internet. Big release around the corner. Was that
a Windows or a Unix slash?
I believe it's the standard whack.
Okay.
Yeah, the internet whack. Mm-hmm. You want the internet whack. Unraid. Get your Unraid here, everybody. Go to unraid.net/unplugged. Working hard over there on the new release. I know a few things. I will say some seriously nice UI updates. How come I don't hear? I'm playing Jeff's things. I don't hear nothing. Yeah, maybe it's just not. Oh, maybe I killed audio from that browser. Anyways, there you go. Welcome back, Brentley.
Thanks. Internet's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you were never gone.
Well, we
Wasn't
missed
I?
you. Well, yeah, no, you were here. You were always here. Clearly. Okay. That was the ads. Did I close my dock? What's going on? Guys, what's
you are
going
in
on?
disarray, sir.
Guys.
Is it Sunday or
Do
something?
you need a little mesh?
I think I need to lay down, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that's
Just take a
fair.
little nap.
We'll be back in 2 hours.
I've been up since 3 a.m. because when the power went out,
No.
it got cold, so I woke up and got the diesel heater going, which was fine. But I didn't want to run it on full blast, so
Sure.
I kept staying awake, so then I could turn it down a little bit, and then I decided to check the power status, and it's like, well, they say they're gonna have it fixed in a half hour, so I should just stay up and then turn the heat on, So it was one. So yeah, I was basically up since 3 a.m. Stupid.
So that's why we got double picks this episode.
Yeah. All right, Brantley, are you ready? It brings back. Give a little shout out
Sure
there.
can.
All right, here we go. In a threes, in a twos.
Well, this week we want to do a nice shout out to Vadim, who's a new Jupiter.party member. Thank you for joining the club.
Woo! Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Boys, we got a bunch of emails on recommendations for a low power but semi-powerful home lab sent in via the contact page in the boost. Thank you, everybody who did that. I'm processing all of them. And a couple of themes came through. Some Lenovo hardware and some B-Link hardware. A couple of themes, definitely. And they're really good options. So, yeah, I'll have more on that in the future. I'll tell you more about that. We got an email from LUP listener, and I feel like maybe we've had a blind spot here, and he kind of brings it to our attention. He says, I'm moving off of Windows 10 now, and I'll be trying out Zorin OS or Winx for moving from my SDR ham software and hardware. At first, Winx seems better, but time will tell.
That's Linux, but with a W.
Maybe this could be a topic and could get some new listeners. And, I don't think we've given much attention to this end of Windows 10, but this is a big moment for a lot of Windows users. And LupFan brings up a good point.
This is true.
So I'm not a big fan of Winx. This is my opinion, and it's not a particularly well-researched one. But what it is, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, and this is it's a paid distribution. And what they've done is they have packaged Ubuntu, and they put a Windows theme on top of it, and then they sell that to you, and you buy a Pro key. So Winx 64-bit is based on Ubuntu 24.03 LTS. And you could just get this theme for free on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. And the Pro key, let's see, does it tell us? They call it a donation. Isn't that interesting? So the Pro key is $35. You get the appearance and the control of Windows-inspired themes. You get a Windows-style control panel, improved support for .exe and MSI applications. So they're basically making wine integrated.
Yeah, I think they say they have Winboat.
Okay. Active Directory support, native graphics support for OneDrive, native OneDrive File Explorer, Android subsystem, Power Tools, improvements to the Copilot and ChatGPT subsystem. Lifetime key is $35. Yeah, I think it's your decision if that's of a personal value to you. I think you would probably be better served by just using Ubuntu LTS. There's kind of an idiom in Linux that goes, the further out from the most commonly used system, the harder that is. And so you're picking something that's a derivative of Ubuntu. And so if it ever breaks, you're only going to get support from them and their very small user base.
Or if the thing that supports Ubuntu that you try to run on it, that breaks, probably on you to figure out the delta.
Yeah, there's that. Where there's millions of users that use Ubuntu, and there's a giant support community out there, and there's also people you could contact. That's just something to consider, LUP listener. Zorin may be worth trying. I haven't spent a lot of time with Zorin.
Maybe we should.
I'd be curious to know if people would like to know our opinion on Zorin. I'd kick the tires. People would like to know.
What we should probably do, we'll run some Windows again for a bit and then switch to Zorin.
I would be concerned about the people who rely on these pseudo Windows experiences to adopt Linux, because you're going to get burned eventually. Like, I know people often say, KD Plasma is the Windows-like experience and GNOME is the Mac-like experience, which is completely and utterly wrong for a lot of reasons. But neither KD nor GNOME are actively trying to aim towards that direction. But there are people who want to see patterns that aren't there, for example. And the problem is that if you start reinforcing it with other things, then what you wind up having is you're subtly tricking the users into thinking this is the same system that they had before. And as soon as that superficial skin breaks, the users will be more upset than they were before.
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad you're touching on this. I think another way to put this, because I thought about this when it came in and I forgot to mention it, Neil, but you reminded me, is it creates a misalignment of expectations. And I think that's the core problem, is people expect it to behave and function and do the things Windows does, and it's not Windows.
Well, we got another email here from Adam, who's also a member. Thanks for reviewing my Nix config. It was really fun hearing what others thought of it. So another +1 for Nix config reviews.
Oh, all right.
Chris, you were right. My machine, Boomer, I remember this one, of course, isn't my only host. It's named after the Battlestar Galactica character. And because it's my desktop with the most horsepower, it booms.
I like it. I do prefer our theory that it was this config for your parents. But that makes sense too.
It does send you a little shade here, though, Chris.
Yeah.
Not sure how you missed my Prowler.nix file sitting right next to Sonar.nix and Radar.nix.
That's my bad. I will count those points towards you again. Sorry, I docked you for that. That's good. I'm glad to hear. Those are, by the way, things people should look into if they haven't. That's all I'll say about that. He does call you out a bit, but not in a bad way.
Oh, which part? There's several.
He says,
"Oh, just I gotcha." Yeah, I mentioned that Adam has a nice structure with explicit modules in his Nix setup. He credits his old Puppet experience showing, because in Puppet you write generic modules that you can reuse across machines. And Adam's trying to do the same thing with Nix, and it definitely shows. Portable configs, makes a match anywhere. As an example, Adam mentions his Telegraph module, which runs on every host. Also using my Flake for ersatz,
yes,
which I need to update. I started doing that and got distracted with other things. Sounds like maybe here, though, reports on getting hardware acceleration. When I play a stream, NVTop shows GPU activity. ersatz reports hardware acceleration as enabled, but the logs always complain unable to determine VAPI compatibilities. Please install VA info.
But you're seeing activity in.
Oh, so we commented. Yeah. So that last commit was my vain attempt to fix that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I thought with Nix flakes and stuff like this, like you're essentially building modules around your setup rather than being able to, like, I know you can technically do generic stuff, but I thought the design basically pushes you very towards not doing that.
I mean, there's a local composition that happens, but
right.
It kind of depends on how modular how much you bake in or what you put behind options. Kind of ends up being the main limitation.
Oh, the newer QSV method he notes has a bug where the audio lags about 2 seconds behind the video. Oh,
yeah. So had to set the FFmpeg profile to use VAP acceleration with the IHD driver for the N100 media server. Also mentions maybe to fix some of those issues with VAPI, maybe we need libva utils. Yeah, I could take a look at that when I touch ersats next. So thank you for testing that, because I haven't had as much time to actually get it really going as I'd like.
I had ersats going on 3 screens over the weekend.
I was looking that they've done some nice looking updates. Like their changelog is full of good things.
One of the things that I like doing, this is an aside, but I like to set up holiday channels. So I have right now a Halloween channel, which I'll turn off, and then I'll turn on a Christmas channel, and then I turn them off after the season's over. So that way people don't, otherwise the kids just watch them, and yeah. Being able to have it go on multiple screens is so great. It's so fantastic. And I'll sometimes just go on YouTube and find some of those long Halloween video loops, with the different music and stuff, and throw that in there. You can throw all kinds of stuff in there. It's such a great application. And then another fun thing you can do is have the kids pick the colors for the different smart lights that can change colors. Go around and have them pick. They love that.
Well, we have another note here from Alan Bacon, who says, "Hey there. Longtime party member, first time writing in.
Hey!
I was just listening to the latest Unplug episode where you guys were looking for a name for the audience, and I think I have something not half bad that might just fit the Jupiter Broadcasting brand. The Colony. It keeps in theme with that space theme, Star Trek, the launch, etc. What do you think?
Didn't we call ourselves a colony before?
We have in the past. In fact, that's the domain name for our Matrix server. Mm-hmm. I think that's the way to lean into then, the Colony. So that's when we're talking about the audience, we'll just refer to it as the Colony. It'll be our our cute love name. Only those of you that listen to this specific episode will know what the hell we're talking about.
Subscribe, grow the Colony.
Don't make it sound creepy.
Too late.
Mr. Bacon also says here, have a good one from up north in French Canada, the real French, not like that wannabe Brent.
Oh, Brent, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was in there.
Throwing shade. Well, those Acadians, you gotta...
Is that a thing? Is there tension between the half French Canadians and the real French Canadians? Is that like a thing?
Hey, what does half mean? I mean,
there's a whole thing about.
I think what you're hearing in my voice is the answer is yes.
Yeah,
after like 5,000 miles in the States, you're really becoming one of us.
Yeah.
Hey, Louisiana has some French down there.
I mean, Chris, it's a problem in all the Francophone speaking areas. Like that's
Francophone?
I love humans. They're so great. We're just the best.
And that's a double meaning. And if you figure out what I'm saying there, then you know what I'm saying.
All right.
But like a lot of the French speaking areas have this whole like you're not French enough kind of thing going on. Like Louisiana has it. Like if you go up into the upper New England areas where there's still some French influence from French Canada, it's still a thing. Like it's even true in France. Like it's all over the place. And I don't know what it is about French that causes this, but it's definitely a thing that you don't really see in a lot of the other languages.
Love it. Thank you, everybody, for the emails. Appreciate it very much. linuxunplug.com/contact.
And now it is time for Le Boost.
And of course, you can also send a boost into the show, support us, and get a message. If it's above 2,000 sats, we read it. And our baller booster this week got it on discount. It's Turd Ferguson with 43,000 sats.
Turd Ferguson!
43,000 sats for Fedora 43 review. Always look forward to hearing your takes and realized it was valuable to me. This is a live boost. Thank you, Turd.
Nice.
Appreciate
to the
that.
pending. Cool.
I appreciate that, Turd. Yeah. Yeah, we mark, if you have a Podcasting 2.0 app, we mark the live stream and schedule it pending ahead of time. So if you ever wonder, the guy's going to have a live show today, or what time is it at, or did it get rescheduled, we mark it as pending I try to do it about 24 hours before the live stream, and it'll show up in your list of apps, or I'm sorry, your list of podcasts.
Tom?
As a baller here, I'd like to mention that about half the fuel that went into the van on the way home was from sats that we received from listeners, and I got those just directly into the gas tank. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who boosted in and also fake boosted in to allow me to get home. Thank you.
And get there too.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Commence. Yes, indeed.
Tom A. Toe comes in with 9,001 Satoshis.
It's over 9,000!
Here's a little power usage data point for you, Chris.
Okay.
My NetBSD desktop, so not a big hog like Linux, but is a ThinkCenter M710Q, generation older than the 720.
The M710Q, I think, was probably one of the number one recommendations. Okay, so I'm interested to hear a in the field report.
They can both take 32 gigs. Mine has 16 in the second disk. Measured from mains, it idles at 12 watts and uses around 25 to 30 under load. And for the listeners, how about Jovenauts?
Jovenauts.
Well, if you want to self-opt into that, we won't complain.
12 watts idle is a bit high, but not unreasonable. 30 watts is dangerous, but if it's only under massive load and I've consolidated, I could see that working. If I could get 32 gigs of RAM in that puppy and a couple of disks, and then, I'd probably have to do a couple external disks. That's the thing I don't like, is I don't see a way where I could have a large internal array. And it needs to be solid state, so it gets expensive pretty quick externally. But that is nice.
Have you considered towing a small fission reactor?
Good idea. That's some good real world. I really appreciate the actual power usage numbers. If anybody else has that for their mini PC home lab machine, please do send it in, especially if you could beat 30 watts under load. Love to see that.
We've got OP 1984 here with 4,000 sats.
Put some macaroni and cheese on there, too.
Well, this was a timely episode. Thanks to the AWS outage, my SmartThings automations all failed. And that was all I needed to stop putting off making the switch. Bonus, my 70-plus-year-old mother has, after 10 years of resisting, agreed to try Linux. The Linux Mint specifically, since her Windows 11 laptop is having tons of issues and I'm always having to fix the darn thing. A year with LibreOffice instead of paying for Microsoft 365 just got her to see FOSS as a user-friendly option and not just for the hacker man.
Wow, that's wonderful to hear.
LibreOffice coming in as the sale closer there.
Well, you can tell you're taking a thoughtful, long-term approach to make this happen, and it's finally really paying off. And that seems great for not only your mom but also you as the support person.
Yeah, love that. Nice win there. Thanks for sending that our way. Love hearing those. Thor came in.
I always love when some kind of power outage or service outage also moves people to bigger and better things. I'm assuming Home Assistant here, so
I also
Colony members.
A follow-up, since I did the YOLO delete of the random zombie adapter, the Zigbee network has been totally solid. Totally solid. So
nice.
That's even after going down and relocating in a new, which you never know. It's all been good. Thor comes in with a supercharged Robodux, 2,444 sats. More Nix is good, and yes to more config confessions, please. Also, I can identify with Colony. It's on the theme of JB.
Well, there we go.
Thanks, Thor. Appreciate that.
Augustin boosts in with 3,714 sats.
I like you. You're a hot ticket.
Just wanted to give a shout out to an email server called Mox, M-O-X.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone who feels crazy enough to self-host your own email, it's a modern Go-based email server that I found very easy to set up, which is saying something because email servers are not always easy to set up. Been running it for the past year on a VPS without issues. There's even a Nix package for it.
This had come across in one of my searches, and I had not heard any reports of it. And I'm just looking at it now that you bring it up. This is great. We're getting some super good in-the-field reports. Really, really high value there. Appreciate that a lot. All right, so that's Mox. It's xmox.nl. That's xmox.nl if you want to check it out. Thank you for that. Appreciate that one.
Distro Stu comes in with 11,111 sats. I loved the Nix Config Reviews episode, and there are so many interesting ones in GitHub as well. Every system I have has an alias U that updates everything regardless of package manager. And I did it this way in Nix for quite a long time, but eventually it started causing issues, so now I have it broken out into more granular aliases, and he does link us to those aliases in their NixOS repo. Feel free to roast the configs, of course, while you're there. And P.S., thanks for showcasing my reader app, Saver.
Oh, yeah. Well done. That's great. All right, we'll save that one. I think we're going to have to start building a stash.
I think so.
Thank you, Distro Stu. Appreciate that. Kiwi Bitcoin Guides here with 3,456 sats. I like that.
This is why I have bedtime wine.
Thank you, Kiwi. He says, thanks for the explainer on the distros. More questions to follow, and +1 for a deep dive on the AlbiHub stuff. Yeah.
Indeed.
We're talking more about that. Something we'll do. We don't have anything planned yet, so if you have any specific questions, you can still get them in, and it'll help inform the coverage.
Anonymous moves in with 2,021 sats.
Make it so.
About to start my Home Assistant journey.
Oh, let's take a moment.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Oh, to be at the beginning.
Coming in with Podverse, too. Nice.
This is my Picard moment when he's dying in the cave, and Wesley's, leaning over him, and Picard's like, to be young again. You know that moment I'm thinking of? That's how I feel right now. Do keep us posted. Very excited. I think you're going to love it. Start with like a small win. Don't go crazy. But then once you get the small win, go crazy, obviously.
Well, Adversaries 17 is here, 16,384 sats. Yeah, I got a name for us listeners, the Jupiteers. We are pioneers of the Foss space.
I can't help but picture the Rocketeer,
Oh, yeah.
Remember that movie? I don't know, Adversaries. I don't know.
You have to unsee Colony, I think.
Yeah, I love Colony because we already have it in so many places. The Jupiteers, maybe the Jupiteers are the individual members of the colony? I don't know. Because the colony could be the whole.
Mm-hmm.
We could workshop that. Hey, look who it is, boys. The Golden Dragon is here with 2,222 sats.
The Golden Dragon!
I listened to this week, but I don't remember what I had to say as it was late. Here's some support for the excellent episode, however.
Oh, you still boosted? That's so sweet.
Oh, God, that's great. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's pretty good. It's pretty good, Golden Dragon. Also, thank you to everybody who streams sats as you listen. We had 24 of you do that, and collectively, you stacked 26,238 sats. When you combine that with our boosters, it's not a super strong episode. But you know what? It's not also a disaster. I'll say that. We stacked a grand total of 123,691 sats. The easiest way to boost the show is with Fountain.fm. It's also a Podcasting 2.0 app, so it means you also get the Podcasting 2.0 chapters, you get the transcript, you also get the live stream integration with the pending and a bunch of other special features, including the ability to boost, and they self-host all of that. Or you can go down the adventurous route of AlbiHub, and then you compare that to a number of apps. On iOS, Cast-O-Matic is absolutely fantastic. Podverse is a popular one in our community because it's GPL3. You can also just boost from the podcast index. There's lots of options. And of course, we want to take a moment and say thank you very much. Let's pump the brakes right there. Just pump the brakes and say thank you to our members who also set it and forget it with either their party membership or their core contribution. We couldn't do it without you either. So thank you everybody who supports this show. We do it for you. Okay, 2 picks. And I put this first one here for you, really. I just felt like this is something you and I could geek out on. But every now and then we get into this stuff and somebody else in the audience loves it too. And so this week, we're highlighting Millisecond. It's an app that lets you sort of audit and optimize your Linux system for excellent, low latency, beautiful audio. And that's why it's called Millisecond, because it does just that.
Yeah, I like the name. That's clever. And it just does one thing really well. So you get a clean little GTK application with some different groups like user, CPU, kernel, and then some nice little icons and displays where it'll tell you just sort of default, like, how do your real-time priorities look? What about group limit, CPU frequency scaling, gives you like a warning or this is bad or you're looking good with a green check mark. And there's a link with explainers over at the Linux Audio Wiki where a lot of these tips are accumulated, and you can just kind of drop things down to get like more of a inline help tip as well.
This kind of is in the broader context of a collection of tools now that makes audio production on Linux absolutely just top notch.
And it's GPL3.
Okay.
Oh, and I made a little flake for it too if you want to run it on next.
I saw that. Attaboy. Okay, how about this next one? I never even thought about this, but would you like a lock screen for your just standard old TTY? Then I would like to introduce you to Lemurs. It's a customizable TUI, and it's kind of a login manager written in Rust, sent in by LUP fan, who we read his email earlier. It's got both Apache and MIT mixed in there. It creates a small, robust, yet customizable login manager, which can be served as a front end to your TTY, X11, or Wayland sessions. Has also the back-end support for PAM, so it just plugs into your existing authentication infrastructure. And the UI is a very simple login and password lock screen. And I've never thought about locking my TTY before until now, and I can't believe I've never thought about it.
Yeah, you're going to keep them all locked now.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to log all of them in, and then I'm going to lock them. That's what I'm going to do, because I like it that way. I don't know. I just... Or maybe you're SSH'd in and you got to leave it up on a machine that you can't lock the screen of or something. Like there's times where you want to lock this stuff.
It does have a very classic TUI look to it. You know, it kind of looks like an older DOS machine almost vibe.
Yeah, and if maybe you were ricing towards that vibe for your Wayland desktop, you could just use this as your lock manager for Wayland too. It doesn't have to be for your TTY, but that's what drew me to it. So what a great idea. And how did I never think of that before? I'm embarrassed. It never even crossed my mind. I just log in as root.
Yeah, what seems to be a dual license, Apache 2 and MIT.
Yeah. I don't really log in as root. Don't do that. I mean, I sudo a lot. And maybe I sudo without a password. I might do that. But I don't run as root all the time. You know what I mean? I don't do that.
Yeah, but you're always in the Docker group.
Definitely in the Docker, in the wheel group, in the video group. You know, if you know what, sometimes I'm in the floppy group. Why not? I love the floppy group. All right, so I have a few things to let you know before we get out of here. This show is live. We do it on a Tuesday, which is actually a Sunday. And it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern over at jblive.tv.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.
Wes Payne, we have a few pro tips for them as well. You know, I mentioned it earlier, but I think it's worth iterating because we work hard to make these things nice.
Yeah, that's right. If MPEG layer 3 is not enough and you want more metadata, we've got a JSON file in the cloud with chapter information.
Ooh.
Yeah, skip right to your favorite stuff. Skip the boring parts if you want to.
One would think, too, that it would be a pretty easy way to sort of parse through like the topics of the show. There's some data you could work with there.
Yeah, indeed. Those are the major moments.
And speaking of data you can work with,
that's
Wes,
right. Yeah, if you want way more data, how about VTT and SRT files for you? Also in the feed for transcripts. More and more of the players out there can use and display and even play and show the transcripts as you move throughout the episode.
With speaker names.
Yeah. And since they're in the feed, you can download them, process them, throw them at an LM, whatever you want.
And we go extra far and above. We process each host track individually so that way it has the best chance of recognizing the speech correctly and identifying it. So we really put some effort into those transcripts. Check them out. Links to what we talked about this week, those are over at linuxunplugged.com/638. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Your Unplugged program. And we'll see you right back here next Tuesday, as in Sunday.
Turns out if you try hard enough, you can.
Okay, thank you, Drew. Appreciate you. Brentley, all stop, sir. Bing, wong. Right there. Did we
Bing
get
Wong?
Bing Wong? Did we see title suggestions come in? Did we see it?
We have the things. I don't know. Is there a way to end that with this magic Megbot?
Yeah, the magic
there.
Magnolia is there is stopped at a gas station specifically to help us with this.
Really? Jeez.
They their phone was running low on battery, so they stopped at a fuel station to get a little bit of power. So I think,
wow.
Magnolia, I think you're going to take care of it, right? If not, I can be a backup. I got the secret codes.
That's awfully nice. Well, we know that one.
Got a
Stop.
code guy now.
So when I go on like some of my main routes, I'm sure other people do this too. Like I've kind of like memorized the spots that I know have really good. Like when we were coming back through Eastern Washington, I'm like, Wes, this is the rest stop you
Yes.
want to stop at. It's got the cell tower at the rest stop.
That looked like such a killer spot. My God.
I'm like, it's the one, Wes.
I will vouch for that.
Just, you know.
Work all day.
So you're like me when it comes to. So I'm like this when it comes to flights. Like I know which are the good routes and the good
for
times
sure.
and
Yeah,
what.
yeah, you want it, yeah.
And you're doing the same thing with the road travel.
Yeah. You got it.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, like you're wasting. If you don't optimize for it, you're not doing it right. Like it can be expensive, costly, and annoying if you get it wrong.
I do miss having JB titles. I think we got a lot more interaction when it was on the website. But
yeah,
see,
that was nice.
that was when we were using a IRC bot, and it was kind of running on a VPS, and it was processing that data externally and then just rendering out a web page. I did like that a lot. Maybe one day.
But then it broke down over time, and it would just nobody did anything about it.
Yeah. And now we're not using IRC anymore.
Yeah, so we need a matrix bot with the web.
Yeah.
Or
It'd be really great. It'd be really great if I had a web voting. That'd be really great. And then maybe it just posts the results in the
Sure.
Because then more people would, I think.
Yeah, post the link and post the results.
I think more people would participate, right?
Well, especially since now you do the live streaming to the YouTubes and whatever.
Yeah, it'd be nice if people over there could get in on it and stuff.
On the other hand, getting people into the Matrix room means you get more engagement. So
yeah, that's true.
There's that.
We do like it when people join us in the Matrix. In the Matrix, that's true. All right, how are we doing over there, Brent, with some titles? What's going on?
Oh, I think the bot is just having a party somewhere else, doing something else. So
I see.
We might have to go to the backup.
I mean, I came up with one. I
can try to do
I have a pre-cooked, that we could get out of the freezer.
I see that people have made suggestions, so it should present them to vote for.
This seems like something an LM would actually handle. Let's dump it all in there and the LM figures it out. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't seem like something else humans should have to bother with anymore.
We're bad at that.
Oh, Magbot, the suggestions are coming in.
Oh, do we have them? Are they coming in?
Well, they're going to slow roll.
Okay.
But they're coming.
All right. Let's get a few in here. And then you can vote.
I mean, I suggested creating the colony cult.
Let's not be a cult.
All right, there's the backups. Just
all right. Let's take a look at these. The Shiny Syndrome, not bad. You hear the Linux snake top. Wallpaper updates. Fedora boosts ahead. Fedora Friday on a Sunday. File system Battlestar Galactica. That was pre-show, but that's good. Slithering through the file system. The distro everyone should copy. That's mine. Shiny Syndrome. Tips the Hat. Ubuntu Summit episode.
That one's a fun
we did think about. It's just the videos are so long. I haven't had time to go through them, and
I haven't watched them yet.
Yeah,
It's like 9 hours a piece.
Yeah,
it's like
I know, and it'd be so awesome if they cut them up a little bit and with topics.
They will cut them up eventually, you know that, but it'll be a while.
Yeah,
I made you a cut one out if you want.
What do you mean?
I made a just for your own use. I think I shared it with you. The Wimpy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah. That's one thing. Yeah. If I had more time, I'd go through them now. I just have not had.
I know. Yeah.
2
That's
days.
the problem.
It's 2 days. Do we like any of these?
I like Fedora boosts ahead.
Okay, I'm going to defend mine. The distro everyone should copy is an attempt to appeal to those who are not Fedora users. to get them to listen to a
yours
Fedora
is good
episode.
too. Yours is good too.
That's my attempt.
I do like. Okay, you got some.
I mean, like the one that really got to me was French Fedora fights because I like alliteration, but the alliteration makes no sense. So like, I don't.
Doesn't it always make no sense?
No,
it's French.
Usually the title makes sense, and that one doesn't.
I'm gonna defend the shiny syndrome.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was mentioned by one of our letter writers, which I think was hilarious, and also is spot on for how we choose to operate.
This is also what this episode's all been about, the shiny syndrome.
Could be.
It's true.
I could be talked into shiny syndrome.
We can add another S word to it if you need it.
Does that title undercut our point that there's things in here other distributions should copy?
It does. Because shiny syndrome is derogatory.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's the biggest problem. I mean, the biggest problem with some of these is that they're effectively derogatory.
Well, a little self-deprecating humor is okay, but I don't want it to undercut the sort of what we're trying to make the point.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a fine line between humor and just fail, right?
God, titles are so hard.
How about Fedora's unstable and you should only use it if you're crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
no.
let's go real clickbaity.
No.
How Fedora 43 shows IBM has completely destroyed Red Hat.
Oh, Jesus. You know, like, all the people that keep talking about how IBM's doing stuff, like, I never, ever see anything from them. Like, ever.
Yeah, you know, I think people are very cynical of these types of things over the years because slowly, it's one of those things that slowly over time, things kind of change. But, you know, I didn't, you know, I actually didn't.
At the end of the day, none of these guys care.
I will just mention, did you get a sense of it at all at Summit? Red Hat felt like its own entity at Summit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There was some IBM branding, but...
Like, IBM always has a booth.
Yeah, they had a nice booth, and yeah, it wasn't.
And that was pretty much it. They weren't even they weren't the center stage about anything at Red Hat this year.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even talk about the Granite models this year, which was like a big thing that they talked about last year. And so, like, there was basically nothing IBM-ish at Summit that anyone cared about. And of course, IBM was there, and they had their demo mainframe thing, and they were talking about IBM Cloud and all that stuff. And finally, my IBM Cloud is killing itself, which just makes me happy. But I'm always a fan of the alliterative stuff, but none of the alliterative stuff makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the distro everyone should copy. It's a good one.
I'm nailing it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I concede.
All right.
I just wish I wish we had a different F word for the French Fedora fights because, like, I like alliteration so bloody much, but, like, that one just makes no bloody sense.
Yeah. Well, Neil's
fighting the French with Fedora.
It's nice to see you. Glad you could make it.
Yeah. I hope I can make it more often, but, like, I know most of this year has been, like, I've been all over the place, and, like, did we even meet up at all this year at any conferences? I don't know if we did. I was at Scale.
We saw you at
that
Scale.
Was it. Yep.
It was quick.
Because I noped out of Linux Fest Northwest because I couldn't do both at the same time this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't do Texas Linux Fest because I had to go to my brother's wedding, and that's where I went up. You know,
how dare you?
Well, family takes precedence.
Gosh.
And also. And so that happened. And I think, maybe next year we'll see each other more often. I know I'm planning to go to Scale next year. I don't know about any of the other ones.
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably do Scale, right?
Yeah, I mean, Scale's important enough.
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably do Scale. It's always hard to really know because, like, you know, how do you even fund it? You know, like, it's like,
I mean, I say both.
How do you make a time for it?
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna pay for all this. Like,
exactly.
We have been getting pretty good at the penny pincher travels.
Yeah,
you know, we've been getting better at that. But
I think one of the things that's actually ironically that's helped me out is that now that I have status with Delta, like, my domestic flights are cheaper now. Like,
that's good.
because now, for example, I can pay for an economy flight and I'm automatically upgraded to Comfort Plus. So I don't have to spend the extra money for that.
Yeah, that's nice.
And for transatlantic flights, because again, I'm coming from New York to California.
Right.
That makes a big difference. That's 7 hours of flying. So, and it's the same thing when I go to Seattle, right? Like the fact that I spend a lot more to be comfortable on international flights has allowed me to spend a lot less on domestic flights, which I think has made things a lot more comfortable for me.
Well, you could always catch a ride with Brent when he's going cross country.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the Brentmobile.
Yeah, I can post my plans.
Brent, if you're on my side of the country, of the continent, so like you come pick me up and then we'll just take a road trip all the way over. As long as I'm not driving, I'm okay with this.
I'm here for it.
As long as I'm driving, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, someone has to man the
match.
cats.
Poor Wes is the only one that doesn't get to drive. You know, like everybody...
I mean, I'm happy to take a small trip up to Toronto, and then we'll hang out for a day or two, and then we'll just drive, and then I'll ride with you all the way over to the West Coast.
There you go.
Sounds ridiculously crazy, man.
Yeah, there we go.
And see, Brent, what you do is you coordinate with me, and then we can take and caravan our way across.
Ooh. It'll take me like 3 weeks because I gotta go from point to point to point and pick up all the JB listeners along the way. It'll be fun.
It'll just be you and me, and then we'll go to the other side. That's faster. Then it's only 1 week instead of 3.
You've clearly never traveled with me.
That's true.
Oh, I know.
It's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. Gentlemen, I think
it's the shiny syndrome.
I think we've come to the end of our broadcast day. Is this?
That was a good day.
Yeah,
it was a good day.
Yeah, just keep an eye on those DMs, Brent, and we'll coordinate.
Okay. Thank you for sending me something. Appreciate it.
Yeah, there's some stuff I want to talk to you about that I don't necessarily want to say on air. So.
Ooh, encrypted DMs. Ooh, slide into your DMs.
Danger zone. Does it need the cone?
All right. Thank you.
That's up to you, buddy.
Well, that's what a DM is, kind of. By very definition, it's kind of a...
That's actually quite true. Thank you. I wish I had the sound effect every time I went in a room.
That's true. All right. Thank you, Mumble Room. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. Take the rest of the day off.
We love
you guys.
All right.
Have fun.
Bye,
Thanks,
Zeus.
Jeff.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye. And I think that just leaves us to say goodbye to the live stream. Tuning in right now.
Streaming them bites.
The bits.
The bits and the bites.
If you're in the chat room before you go, let us know how you listened or watched. Did you watch the video somewhere, or did you listen on the FM stream? We should do this more often, maybe before we've gotten to this
fun.
point.
Yeah, a little poll.
Just kind of interested to know how people are using it. And then, of course...
Yeah, DM Brent with the results, if you would.
Right, DM Brent. Yeah.
No, please don't.
Well, after Alan Jude started bouncing his JB email, I'm just kidding.
All right, I want to say thank you, members. Thank you very much. That eagle is for you. We really appreciate you. We do this extra long, members-only special bootleg for you. And we packed it up, try to make it all pretty, try to get, some of the same features that we make available for the main release that, we rely on Editor Drew, like the chapters and the gosh darn transcriptions. We're doing all that after the show every week, just so that way you can try to have a great experience if you're on a Podcasting 2.0 app. We don't always nail it. Some of the apps don't work with the private feeds as well as we would like. Maybe one day. But we still appreciate you very much. Thank you, members, and we'll see you next time.
Thought they were chill, two gentle guys, would never hurt, no, not a fly. But in the shadows, neon lights ignite. They step up ready for a laser fight. Wes moves quiet like a ghost unseen. Brent's a sniper, laser sharp and clean. They're unplugged killers, laser tag thrillers. Lights go down and they're stone cold chillers. Wes and Brent never miss their mark. Kings of the game, masters of the dark. Laughing, joking, but podcast vibes. But on the battlefield, there's no compromise.